Open tabs, margin notes, highlighter, bleed through quotes, research minds, steady eye patterns only she can note. I-90 fog, whispering under wheels, skyline, afterglow, 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds that know, no sign needed out front. They circle to her voice, questions rise before she starts, curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who's leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads home with the speakers up, Biggie in the background, mind still mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind the face, Philly in her backbone, psychology in her grace. Don't let the hype fool you, she stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach the lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights with case files open, notes in the margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots, so you can choose where to go. Yeah. Biggie quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You are more than this moment, written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on the sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you grieve. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on the Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes in mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
Hi guys, I don't feel like you could hear me because, hold on, if you can't hear me. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Can you hear me? I think I fixed it. So you guys, I'm coming live from the shore. Should I turn that light on back there? It's a little dark in here. It's not really this dark in here. Thank you for my birthday wishes. My arms are so short, I couldn't do that without getting up. I do apologize. Hi guys, I'm down the shore for my birthday. So don't mind like the shitty lighting and stuff today. Hopefully you guys will forgive me all the other times for all the other shit. There's always something. Hopefully the birthday live will go a little bit better. So how y'all doing? I'm gonna be another year older the next time you see me. Unbelievable. Time just flies. So while people are coming in, let me put my phone up here so I could see the chat. Let me put it on all chat. Okay. Let's see who's here, you guys. Thank you, thank you. We have, oh wow, oh look, a squirrel's here. Boss lady's here. Cuff you. Who else? Harlot. I'll call you out if you're in here. YouTube Bad Actors is here. Oh, all my friends are showing up for my birthday. A. Higgins is here. Oh, you guys, I love this. Drunk Turkey's here. You really are a good friend, Daniel. I swear, they don't make them all like you. You guys, he is such a good YouTube, well, he's a regular friend, but I mean, like, on YouTube, there's not a whole lot of people you could, like, trust, and Daniel's definitely one that you can. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, all of you. So, you guys, do you want to hear something crazy that I was just going to tell you guys? One of my, or the very first live I did, and was, I believe it was my birthday. I went on, like, Daniel's lives a few times, things like that, but Daniel talked me into doing a live on my channel, and then he came on my channel. We didn't dual stream. He came on my channel, and that was like my very first big live, and it's one of like my favorites. I look back on it all the time because it just reminds you of like how far you've come, things like that. So I did want to thank you all, and thank you, Daniel, because you've been such a pivotal part of my YouTube journey. So I do appreciate you, and hopefully this journey just continues to go and go and go, because I'm loving you guys. I really am. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh, Deline Thomas is here. How are you? Thank you, you guys. So my actual birthday's tomorrow, but I'm down the shore, and my husband and my daughters and everybody's coming tonight for tomorrow. So I was like, that would be rude if they all come down the shore for me for one day. And I'm like, oh, you guys, I got to go live. And it's also Saturday. So I'm like, everybody knows that Saturday I hang out with Rye. So today is my birthday live. Or as my daughter would say, my birthday eve. I'm like, what is that even a thing? What's a birthday eve? She was like the first person to text me today. She's like, was I the first one to wish you a happy birthday eve? I was like, what? Yeah, you were. And you're probably the only one that's going to do that, you crazy. So tonight we are going to, I figured for my birthday live, what I didn't want to do was a PowerPoint slide. So I figured, let's just wing it tonight. It's a birthday live. I didn't want to, like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to do too much, like do all the things. So we are going to go over the Chris Cuomo interview that he does with Natalie Shirilla. I don't know if anybody's caught it yet, but it's a good one. I literally almost died. I was watching it when it first came out, and Justin from, our friend Justin from Clutch and Pearls, he literally was texting me. I was watching it, and he was like, did you see this yet? I was like, I'm watching it now. It's literally crazy, you guys, so wait till you see it. This is going to bother me if I don't fix this. My earring. There we go. That would have bothered me the whole live. Sorry. It's the little things. So you guys ready to do this? Let's do this. As people are still coming in, that's okay. Everybody come in. I hope tonight is a good live and everybody has a good time, and there's no, like, not that we like fight or anything over here, but you know what I mean. I just wish for the best. I love the live we did the other night. We've done a couple really, really good lives. So, but the other night it was really cool. I feel like, I don't know, it was a really cool live. I don't even know exactly. We talked about like the jail calls and stuff, but I did have a PowerPoint slide for that one. And I also like the one on eating disorders, but apparently YouTube does not. And I think that that's horrible. So part of me understands, and we talked about why the other night, and part of it's because kids will find these sites that like help them further their, let's call it ed, because I'm afraid that I even use the word, and like that now I'm going to be demonetized on this show too. They demonetize me all the time, but it's okay. It's like for live stuff, whatever. Sassy's here. Cocola's here. You guys, thank you. Sirius is here. Sirius is here. There you go. Oh, I got my girls. Now we just need truth, and I'll be good to go. So let's see what happens. So yeah, let's get this started, you guys. Have you guys seen this? And we're gonna react tonight. See, this is the thing, you two bad actors. I'm gonna have to figure out how we go live with Jamie unscripted. But until then, I still want to do some unscripted things here. So tonight, this is going to be an early edition of Jamie Unscripted. Oh my gosh, I have my pens and my things and all in my bra over there. Let's just leave that there. Does anybody else use their bra for your pocket? I do it all the time, but only the one side. I don't understand myself either. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm dying to know what you guys thought of this. This was unbelievable. And let me tell you what I found before I share that. What I found, so, oh, that's another thing that I just noticed over here, you guys. Also, I don't know if anybody saw Rotten Mango. She did an interview with Rosie, and wow, another good one. You said your boobs aren't big enough. I love you. That's great. You guys haven't seen it yet? Oh, wait till you see. Thank you, Cuff You. Cuff You's always putting out the things to help me. Yes, happy birthday, Eve. Oh, you two bad actors. Wait till I tell Gianna you said that too, because I literally, she was like, I just wanted to be the first one to say it to you. I was like, I don't think anybody is, like, who does that? I haven't wished somebody a happy birthday Eve ever, I don't think. So I guess shame on me for not doing it, but we'll see. So over here, you guys, there goes Chris Cuomo. He does, he has his own show, which, let me just make sure that we're subscribed. I know we are, but let me just make sure. Yes. Yes, subscribed. Why does it look like that? Oh, because there's 2 here. You guys, this is what I have to learn how to do. He's, he dual streams himself. But I guess what the hell's the point of that, right? I guess because he's doing it because he works for the station too. But we're going to watch this on Cuomo Crime Time and the Chris Cuomo Project. I'm wondering if, like, hopefully we shouldn't be watching it for one thing and not the other. I guess we'll just see. I think he's pretty cool. I've seen a couple of people react to this. So Chris Cuomo, from your Italian buddy over here, hopefully you'll be good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. You'll be the second. You are the second one, YouTube ad actor. So here we go, you guys. Let's see what happens here. So let me just set this up real quick. So Chris Cuomo does a live with Steve Shirilla, and the entire time Steve does this. He like looks over the laptop the whole time, and then he'll look back down, and then he goes up, and then he'll say yeah, and da-da, and you'll hear like a voice in the background, and then you'll hear him parrot what the voice said. And it doesn't take very long for you to realize that it's Natalie, like, behind him. At one point, Chris says to Steve, because I think Chris won it, and Chris was right. He said that afterwards, sure enough, people came for him. But he said, I want everybody to know that I didn't say, like, that she couldn't be in this interview. He's like, if your wife wants to join us, like, please, by all means. And Steve's like, no, she's my... what did he call her? She's my producer. He called her his producer. She's my producer. So, like, you know, and he said, okay. So, but here people did say, like, you know, why did he just interview Steve? Why didn't she? Da, da, da. So for whatever reason, I guess they reach out to her and Natalie, and she decides to come on. This is the thing, you guys, and this is the thing that we see about human behavior. There's sometimes where we don't realize that, that we're not doing ourselves any favors. So Natalie spends so much time telling Mackenzie and Steve and everyone else not to discuss anything about this case and da-da-da, and every time they open their mouth, it's like, it makes it worse for them, da-da-da-da. Well, you guys, I actually think that if they go out and do the thing, Steve says a lot of crazy things, but I feel like you're getting more honesty from him. So, like, now not a ton. When I say more, I'm talking about like this much. I'm not talking, we're talking. And what I mean by that is he'll say things like, everybody speeds, or I speed, or, you know, I'm okay with her smoking, you know, pot. I'm okay with smoking pot. So, like, he'll, like, say these things, whether he means to say them or not, whether they're impulsive things that he says and he didn't really think it out, whatever. But Natalie's the reverse. She, in my opinion, is so hyper-focused, and again, this is all just my opinion, she's hyper-focused on the way she's perceived by others, okay? And you have to remember now, so Mackenzie is an extension of her, and therefore she sees her literally as she wants others to perceive herself. So we're going to see that here, and we're going to see, I don't know if anybody will put in the comments, where else do we see this? So let's see what happens. Chris Cuomo did ask a few hard questions, but danced around Natalie too much. Do you think so, boss lady? We'll call him out if we see that. I don't remember exactly which spots. I think I do know what you mean as far as, like, dancing around a little bit. He does go in for, like, hard shots now that I'm thinking about it. But at the same time, I guess he feels like he wants to keep an open line of communication with them. And in order to do so, because you have to remember, he then worked with Dom's sister. You know, he's talked to a few people. And therefore, he wants to keep everybody he can on, you know, on his at least work cell phone, whatever they call it, so that he can have an open communication. So that's the only thing I can think of why because if you think about it, it's not that he's dancing around things because he's afraid to ask the questions, because he does ask a few questions here where you're like, oh, like, good, like, it was good because it was all what we were thinking, but there are a few hard questions here. So if he's dancing around other things, it just says to me that he's trying to make them feel like he's not attacking them. This is the thing, you guys, and this is of course, psychology always comes out of me, but when people are defensive, which we see here a lot, It's because they've been criticized, okay? So if you're a defensive person, and what do I mean by that? Let's say I said something and you like take it as if I meant that for you type thing. So you start getting defensive, like, oh, da da, and you'll like start explaining yourself or whatever the case may be. It's probably because you've been criticized. So, and think about it, right? If there's something in your life that you haven't been criticized about, it probably doesn't bother you when other people bring up that topic or that subject, right? So, like, let's say basketball. Let's say I'm 4'11". I'm not beating anybody at basketball, like not even a toddler. But I know that, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally cool with that. If you told me I suck at basketball, I'd laugh at that and be like, oh my gosh, right? I'm 4'11". We would have a joke about it, right? But let's say somebody was like, oh, you're mom of the year or something, like that would, like, oh my God. I know it wouldn't hurt me personally as much because I know that I'm a good mom. But let's say that I even felt that I've messed up here and there a little bit. That might be a comment that I feel that is hyper criticized to me, because being a mom is something, it's part of my identity. Being a basketball player, not so much part of my identity. So I think when we see Natalie being hyper defensive, I'm wondering if it's because, and only she would know, only she could tell us, but has she been hyper criticized? So let's start this, you guys. Let's go. Thank you everybody for coming in too. I appreciate you guys. Boss lady, good point. Let's see. Cuomo wants to keep all doors open. Isn't that the truth? What's up, Tony? Come on in, you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
We still don't know why Natalie Shirilla decided to try fill in the blank, to kill herself, to kill her boyfriend, to kill her boyfriend and herself, to kill her boyfriend and one of her closest friends. What was this about? What do we know? Wild child, reckless, bully in school, crazy in love, fatal attraction, all of these different disparaging identifications about the nature of the dynamic. But do we know why this happened? Prosecution says, yeah, we do. She wanted to kill them. But doesn't that mean she wanted to kill herself? Is there anything about this?
So let's pose that real quick, you guys. What does that mean? Put a 1 in chat if you think yes, that means that she wanted to take herself out. So a 1 in chat if you think she wanted to take herself out. 2 if you don't. 3 if you don't think she cared. So 1 if you think she was trying to take herself out. 2 if you do not think she was trying to take herself out. 3 if you just think she just didn't think of it either way. Like, what, let's see what you guys think. Oh, we have a lot of 2s and 3s. So let's see. I said lots of. Okay, we actually have 1, 2, 3. It's funny. So this just shows, you guys, I think this just shows us too why this story is so compelling. Just in a chat where we all get along and we all see things very much similarly, we have all different points of view here too. If I had to pick, I think I would choose 3. And if I had to do a backup, it would be 2 for me personally. And it's just because I think that she was so, I don't think that, so you could say 2 or 3 for me, because I don't think that she was trying to take herself out, but at the same time, I don't know if she even thought that doing this was going to take anybody out, to be honest with you. I don't think she thought about the consequences of her behavior. And the reason that I say that, and again, this is just my opinion, there's no diagnosing anything here. I literally am teaching developmental psychology right now. I teach it every single semester, 3 semesters a year, multiple colleges and universities for the past 22 years, every single semester. And one thing I know is that there are certain things in different age ranges that are just, it's human behavior, and it's common for all people in that age group, universally, but then there's also cultural things that we'll see too. So when I say that, when I surmise some of these things, I base it off of statistics and off of what I know about human development and other things like psychopathology, all the other things. But for here, it would be more of a human development thing. And with human development, at her age, she was 17 years old at the time of the crime. She was 18 like 3 days later, so she was almost 18 years old. Nevertheless, until you're 25-ish, and we actually know now from recent research that if you're a female, it's around 24, 25. If you're a male, it's more like 27, 28 when your brain is done completely developing. So your prefrontal cortex, the front part of the brain that is responsible for impulse control, problem solving, decision making. It's like that higher functioning, executive functioning, if you will, of your brain. So yes, boss lady, at 17 you feel invincible. I agree with that, right? So somebody said bingo cuff. So she's 100% was showing her, was showing all and lost control. I don't think she thought it was going to end the way it did. I don't either, Cuff You. I got you. So you think she was like showing off? I actually said that the last time too. I said, could it be? So I actually agree with you, Cuff You. I think that could be very much true, where, you know, we know that Davion, she says to her mom, you know, Davion's a car boy, and the mom so horribly not only talks about Davion being a car boy and about Davion driving fast, and that's the only way Davion drove was fast. Like, I'm like, oh, like, really, Natalie? But she then, I don't know if you guys remember this, but she goes and says about Dom having extra weight on him because Davion landed in the front. I was like, what the f- is wrong with this woman? But just so you know, if I do say anything from the jail calls, ready, just real quick, I have to show you this. So these are all 99. I wrote them down. And if you see purple, that means that I not only read it, but I've already translated it. So I have, not all of them need translation, right? So not all of them does she speak gibberish. However, there's quite a few that she speaks gibberish. And these are all pages of gibberish notes, okay? And every call I did put what it was about, but if there were gibberish notes, it got that too. But I just wanted you guys to see that, like, I've done so much research on this. I have the entire case file. I've watched more than once every body cam. I've looked at all the interview. I mean, I've read all the 32,000 pages of text messages just between her and Dom. So let's keep going. But I wanted you guys to know that I really do feel like I know this case pretty well. Are you Sunny now? What's up? Thank you for coming in on my birthday day. My birthday live is what I meant to say. I said my birthday day. Hi, legally guilty, factually innocent. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Thank you.
That reasonably would make you believe that she only wanted to kill them, right? So she'd have to be suicidal. I believe that this is the fatal flaw of this case. And it falls ultimately on Mackenzie Shirilla, personally, because she says she doesn't remember anything, but also by proxy because it's her counsel that didn't argue diminished capacity from the THC, which everybody knew was in her system in very significant levels. And there was some doubt about the sample and how it was.
Okay, this is where I get a little bit annoyed. So, and not necessarily at Chris, right? But I know this case inside and out so much so that I know he just said that she had marijuana in her system in big doses, and that's just not true. So that was one of the things that I actually found extremely surprising, was that there wasn't a lot of THC in her system, and there was still trace amounts in her system, but in the documents it talks about a trace amount of THC, not an abundance of THC like you just made it sound. So I do think that is important to put out there, because if we're trying to change a narrative that maybe she was intoxicated and that's why this happened, I just don't think that it should work. Sirius Black has been a member for 8 months. Wow. Thank you, Sirius. That is huge. I think I've only had memberships for 12. So you literally have been here from the beginning. Gia's here. Hi, Gia. Deadline Crimes here. Hey. Oh my gosh, you guys. I feel so special. Thank you. He makes a lot of mistakes in the reportings, Tony, does he? Wow. My week's still going. Deadline crime. All right, let's hear what he has to say then.
It's preserved by the hospital, which only would have helped fuel reasonable doubt because you could have made assumptions off of it that would have been hard to counter. And there was never any explanation of this POTS that was found to be satisfying by the judge. Whereas when you talk to the parents, you get a very different story. If only to understand why bench trial, why no diminished capacity, why'd you leave the THC alone, why didn't she testify, why hasn't she been hypnotized to try to recall it? There's a lot going on in addition to what would be valuable to the ongoing dialogue about this case, which is what? Who is she? What's she about? So when I interviewed Steve Shirilla, there was a voice off camera chiding him, giving him direction, filling in facts for him. It was his wife, Natalie. Now, I did not exclude Natalie from the conversation. A lot of you have accused me of mansplaining, and I only wanted to talk to the guy.
Serious OMG. Thank you. Wow. Oh my God, serious. Thank you so much. You guys, why didn't my thing make me dance? Like, what is going on with this? It's my birthday. I want to be happy on my birthday. Like, what are they doing to me right now? I'm going to see why that didn't just go on, and I'm going to give you a dance, girl. I don't know why that didn't just go on. Let's see. But yes, you guys, so, can you, I don't know, like, what is he thinking? All right, let's see. It says, because that's not cool. I don't like that. That's one of my favorite things is like the dancing thing. Here's my dashboard. Here, I'll put this one while I fix it. Serious, you're the freaking best. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. I can't. Shut the fuck up, Heidi. Oh my God, my thing was off. I'm over here yelling, serious, serious. Oh my God, serious. And I'm saying, oh my God, I love you to the moon and back. I can't believe I just had that off. Heidi, what the fuck is going on, you guys? Serious, thank you. I'm checking right now to see why, and I'm getting to you, Heidi. Don't you worry. I want to give you guys your special time up there because you guys have no idea how much it means to me. I can't even tell you. Wow. Thank you so much. Heidi, let's get you up there, Heidi. Heidi, thank you. Thank you, Queen. Wait, what just happened? We got... wait, what? Shut the fuck up, Heidi. Heidi, you're gonna make me cry. I'm literally gonna cry, Heidi. We can't make me cry already on my birthday. Thank you. You have no idea, you guys. I must be going through perimenopause because I literally could cry right now. And, you know, but it's a good cry, but I still want to cry. Wow. Thank you so much, Heidi. Wow. Thank you. I'm like,
That's not the case. So, Natalie Shirilla joins us right now to give us new and certainly in everything I've reviewed, fresh perspective on what happened before that night, what happened during the trial, and what has happened since. And it is important perspective, if only to have a better understanding of what the possibilities are here, about why this happened, and of course, a little bit of an understanding of what's going to happen next. Here's Natalie Shirilla, mother of Mackenzie Shirilla. Natalie Shirilla, thank you very much for taking the opportunity to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Let me just clear something up here, because you know how in this space everybody's got a conspiracy theory. Just to be clear, when I was interviewing your husband, you were in the background paying attention. Just to be clear, you've always been invited. I didn't box you out or just want your husband to speak for you or anything like that. Can you just assure people in the audience of that?
No, I knew that. I wasn't camera ready, so I wasn't sure if I didn't know if that was like his thing or I knew that I could always come on, but I was not camera ready at all.
people picked up on the fact that, look, you have an excellent grasp of what's going on. Obviously, emotionally, you're incredibly conflicted because this is your daughter. But I had a number of people say to me, oh, so she can't speak? Only the husband? Only man to man? And that couldn't be less the case. So I am very happy to have you here and be giving you the opportunity.
Just because I don't want a copyright strike and cuff you. What the actual heck, cuff you? Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. I adore you, Queen. I couldn't do this without you, cuff you. I'm going to put yours up next. Where you at? I got to find it over here. Wow, cuff you. Wow. You guys, wow. Thank you. Holy shit. Whew. Wow. I feel so special. Thank you.
This platform. And what I think is really interesting here is that you believe that people have a fundamental misunderstanding, not just of how this case went, but who your daughter is. Do I have that right?
Yes.
So let's start with the first one. How do they have who your daughter is wrong?
I fixed it.
The best way I can describe it is like, would you want to be judged on, one, your worst moments, two, challenges that you were dealing with in your life, situations that you were trying to learn how to navigate at a super, super young age and not really sure how to do it or if you're even doing it right, maybe stumbling through things. No, life is full of all kinds of challenges and everything, and you surround yourself with good people that can help you get through those things, and then hopefully you grow through those moments and figure out how to do better and be better next time. But she was so, I'm gonna cry again, she was so little that it's hard because she is like a young teenager who's going through, teenage challenge stuff, and that's how she's being judged against, and that's not who she is. You'll be judged on who you are based on the challenges that you're going through, so it's kind of unfair.
When you say...
Okay, so number one, Coca-Cola, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Wow. I'm like speechless, actually, to be honest with you. I've never seen such a flow of color in my whole life. I'm like, wow. And Harlot has been a member for 11 months. Harlot, I think there might be 2 people maybe that can trump that. So like, you legit are at the very beginning. I think Truth and maybe Cuff You, but I'm not sure. Cuff You might be 11 months as well. Wow, you guys, I can't believe you guys have literally been here with me from the very, 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 very beginning. I will never forget that. I appreciate you so very much. You have been such a great help to me. I can't even tell you. Now, real quick, I can't help myself. I got to say, when Natalie over here, Miss Natalie, Natalie over here. Oh, Coca-Cola, 11 months? Wow. I can't believe you guys. Coca-Cola, you've literally been here this whole time, too. Get the hell out. Not really. Don't get out. Stay. I don't really mean get out. You know what I mean. Wow. You guys. Ooh. All right. Back to talking shit real quick because I can't help myself real quick. So I'm going to go to the other screen because I'm getting so in a good way distracted from this. That's amazing. I can't even tell you. So, okay. Center, Jamie, center. Because we're not Dr. Vona today. We're just Jamie. Okay. Natalie, if you ever hear this, which you might not, but if you ever do, let me just tell you that no, most people do not want to be judged by their worst day. However, almost all of us have never done something so horrific with such large consequences, fatal consequences, that you can't even, I feel like, I don't know why Chris didn't push back on that more, because honestly, you guys, not for nothing, but like, what do you mean? I know you don't want to be judged by your worst day. Nobody wants to be judged by their worst day. But we're talking about our worst day where we like told off our husband and we didn't, or our wife and stuff like that. Like, we're not talking about smashing the car. Like, you took 2 people's lives. This is my thing. How many people are in jail because they did something? Like, think about Brian Koberger and stuff. Like, what are you going to say? Oh, don't judge him by his worst day. Like, that just doesn't even make sense. There's so many other arguments that, like, even though they don't even make sense, that she could be arguing here. This is not one of them, in my opinion.
The challenges that you're going through. Help us understand what that means.
So, like, situations at school, right, with other kids who are not kind, not kind to her or not kind to her friends or people she loves. She would always kind of insert herself into those situations to defend her friends, and rightfully so. I mean, we all want friends to do that for us, but then sometimes she would get in trouble for inserting herself into their situations and stuff, so we would kind of talk through those, and it's not that she's not right, it's just you got to follow the chain of command, the proper protocol to get things done and stuff. So she was just so little. She's just kind of learning how to be effective in those situations.
You know what I hate?
You know what I hate? Let me tell you, Chris. You guys, so let me tell you why this is so infuriating to me. Because, first of all, she keeps saying she was just so little. She wasn't a toddler. She was almost 18. She was 3 days away or whatever it was, like less than a week away from being able to fight for her country. Like, she wasn't a toddler. Stop saying she was so little. I feel like this is the thing again. There are so many ways that Natalie could sway not sway people, but sway some of the narrative to where you could give people that want to back them a reason to. I feel like when she comes out, she says some of the things that even if I wanted to, see this in a different way, which I don't even know that I'd be able to stand behind it just because of some of the ridiculous things that she says. Like, for example, she says, not that she was wrong, she was just little. What? There you go. That's why she doesn't take accountability right there. You'll see over and over and over and over these 2 parents. And it's not even like, it's one thing to think that your kid doesn't know wrong. It's another thing to verbalize it all the time. That to me is maddening because, for one, we all do something wrong at some point. We're not, you know what I mean? We're not perfect. So when she says things like this and when the dad says things like this, it's sickening, right? Right, Joanne? It's sickening because you got to take accountability for things, even if it's little things. There's little things that they won't take accountability for. Like she just said here, she would stand. I don't know if this was the segment or not. I was trying to fix something on Streamlabs, but in the one segment, she talks about how she's not wrong because she's sticking up for friends, and people might think that that's bullying, but it's really just sticking up for a friend. And I'm like, but that's not. Go talk to the other girls that said that she was bullied. So, you know what I mean? I just feel like this is such a crock of crap, some of it.
Hey, leaving a conversation thinking, oh, that was important. And then realizing later, too many windows open. Bring jobs. Oh, Cuomo, you're half right. Because the real problem isn't having great conversation.
I always think of Kresha when I go forward or backwards because she's the one that showed me. Look at this one over here. They did the AI. Oh, Chris. They tried to do AI on my thumbnail today and made you look almost like this guy. But I then had AI redo it and said, that does not look like Chris Cuomo. And I re-uploaded your photo and said, do not change Chris Cuomo on my thumbnail. So just so you know, if your editor's watching this, you can and I'm not even talking shit, I'm literally some people just don't know. You could re-upload the picture and tell AI not to change it one bit so that it looks like Chris. The
perception of her, which you say is a misperception, is basically informed by this take. You're half right. She was involved in a lot of stuff at school and a lot of drama, but she was the bully. She was the aggressor, and the school told you that. And that's why people are right to feel how they feel. What do you make of that?
How can they possibly know that, first of all? And then sometimes there are some teachers at the school who like her strength and they like her spirit, and they try to cultivate that and help her, guide her through doing it and communicating effectively to get that way. There are some teachers that super didn't. There's a lot of teachers that don't appreciate the strength in a child or a younger teenager, and they just want them to kind of fall in line. But there are some teachers that appreciated it. So it just really depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to a friend that she was sticking up for, then she may be a bully to the other person. It just depends on who you're talking to.
I understand. Right now I'm talking to her mom. And what I want to make sure is that you know where I'm coming from on this. I'm a pretty open and transparent person in terms of how I practice my journalism. There are a lot of things out there that you say are wrong, and I want to give you the opportunity to address them. So I'm not here to judge you or your answers. As we all know, there are plenty of people who are ready and willing to do that. But I want to make sure that our understanding of this situation benefits from the full complement of perspectives.
Sure.
And what I learned in covering this case and looking at it was, until I spoke to your husband, as informed by your perspective in the background, I had no idea how at odds with the attorney and their strategy you had been. So that's where I'm coming from, that I just want to understand all pieces of this to understand how we got here. So the next piece of perspective on it is, well, we got here because Mackenzie Shirilla wasn't just a kid experimenting with drugs. This was a heavy-duty, hard-hitter, wild child. And she, whether that was how she conducted her relationship and how she felt about Dom and how she felt about life and death, this was an extreme personality type who was open to reckless behavior, and that's how we got here. Fair assessment.
Oh my goodness. No. Let me tell you who Mackenzie is. She loves her family. She loves her friends fiercely. She's an adventurer. She's the friend that you have who will wake up in the morning and wants to seize the day. Like, let's go hiking, let's go roller skating. It's pretty outside. Let's go hiking. Let's do whatever. She likes to go take pictures. That's, wherever abandoned buildings like they do. The kids go to all these abandoned buildings and take pictures. She's not reckless, and I know in some of the photos it does appear that way, but I mean, I've done things as a child that my parents probably wouldn't approve of. I hung around with some friends I probably shouldn't have. Did it mean I was reckless? No. It just means I was a teenager trying to figure life out. So she's not reckless or like a wild child. She was fun. She was vibrant, adventurous. She wasn't
a wild child. That's what, okay, so I guess this is my point, you guys. There are little things that I feel like you could take accountability for, like even, you know what I mean? Like, all right, she doesn't want to take accountability for these big things, which is wrong, but you can't take accountability and say that your kid wasn't a wild child. Like, if she wasn't a wild child, then what does Natalie consider a wild child? Right? And there is a good comment that I just put up here because this is so true. Boss Lady says, the parents let their teenage daughter move into their master bedroom, bungs in the closet, boyfriend sleepovers, yet she's so little. Got it. What a good comment, because isn't that exactly right? Right? So, oh, look, a scroll says, maybe I'm a witch, which you're not. But they couldn't handle her, and they didn't even try. Parenting isn't fun. It's not supposed to be fun. It's hard when you're the mean one because you are the parent. Isn't that right? It's funny you say that. So today, my brother, we're down the shore, and we were talking about like how well behaved his kids are and stuff. And he's like, yeah, he's like, sometimes I just hope they don't hate me for being like, because he's a parent. Like if they say something or do something that they're not supposed to, he tells them like don't do that, or go say you're sorry, or that wasn't right. And I'm like, not only will they not hate you later, I was like, because he doesn't like put his hands on them or anything. He just like corrects them when they're doing something wrong. I'm like, not only will they not hate you, I was like, but they'll be successful in life because you gave them these limits and because you hold them accountable for things now. If you hold a kid accountable when they're younger, they realize that there's also rules outside. Wait till we hear Natalie. One of the parts of this, I don't want to say one of my favorite parts because that's probably not the right word, but one of the most telling parts is when she talks about the rules. Wait, listen up for when she talks about the rules and what she told her daughters.
What do people have? Look, I know this is hard for you, and I know you keep catching yourself talking about her in the past tense, and that triggers this paroxysm of pain for you because your daughters.
I'm not an a-hole, I can't help myself, but also take notice on how many times she's about to cry again and grabs her tissue and everything, and I literally tried to look and I didn't see a tear. So, and again, I guess my thing here is that it's not that I'm being insensitive. My thing is the fact that she'll put it out there before she'll say, oh, I'm about to get upset again. I'm about to get upset again. I don't say, oh my God, I'm about to cry until my voice cracks. Once my voice cracks and I know it's coming, I'm like, oh my God. Or like you guys, you make me so like happy, or like I'll cry like with happiness, but I'll say it too. I'll be like, I know, I'm a nerd, whatever. But she doesn't do the thing. She just says she's going to do it, which is what makes it ingenuine. So Natalie, again, if you're watching this, just don't tell us that you're about to cry. If you cry, let it happen naturally. And if you don't cry, that's okay too. I would rather accept somebody for who they are than for who they want me to think they are.
Not dead, but the life she had is no more, and I get how hard that is for you. And I sympathize with you on that, and I understand it.
Well, part of me is not crying just because of that, okay? A part of me is just crying because her friends, people that actually know who we are, know the truth. They know who she is. And the image that has been painted of her through storytelling, all this other things, it's not wholly accurate. It's
Again, this is where she makes herself look bad. No, Chris, that's not exactly why I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry because the perception that other people have of me and my daughter are too much for my ego to take. And that is a problem, right, you guys? And again, this is just based off of Jamie Vona's opinion. I'm not being Dr. Vona tonight. However, you could say that my ideas are still informed from my education. But with that being said, this is my opinion. This is my opinion as a mom. This is my opinion as an educated woman that teaches developmental psychology. This is just my opinion. So legally guilty, factually innocent. Not only share something with us that is, I don't know if you know this, legally guilty, factually innocent, but let me read your comment first in case somebody's like driving. My kid used to put himself in timeout all the time. Anytime you expressed he did anything wrong, he would put himself in timeout or give you his toys and say, take them away. I don't know if you know this, but that is a very good sign of being a good parent. And let me tell you why. Your kid, even if they're little, even if they're old, right? It's usually around like 4, 6 years oldish that they do this. My daughters did the same thing. There was times that I like would walk in the room and be like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you playing with her? And she'd be like, I'm on timeout. And I'd be like, who put you there? And she's like, I did. I'm okay. Like, what is happening right now? Let me tell you why they do that. So that just means that you showed your kid that there are expectations in life and there are rules in life, and that the rules, a lot of the rules, not all of them, like there's some rules like, you know, you can't walk in my house with shoes where somebody else doesn't give a shit, like stuff like that. You can walk in my house with shoes. I'm just giving you an example. But like people are different in that sense. But in general, especially in the same country, right? there are certain laws that we have, laws of the land. So we do teach our kids that you can't steal your sister's candy at home, and that needs to be, that idea has to transfer over into the real world. So you can't steal food from the store or the candy from the store. Like, both of them are not okay. One is going, you're going to get in trouble with mom, but the other one you might go get in trouble with the law. So it's like, we need to teach our kids that from the beginning. I feel like Natalie taught them that rules are made by people. And this is the thing. The truth is, rules are made by people. As you get older, it's okay to, even when you're, when I say older, I just mean past brain development, but it's okay to like question authority or to think like, rules are made by people. Whatever she wants her thought process to be is just fine. But to teach your young children who are, and again, I'm using her words, she's so little, right? And she's got a sister that's even littler. So to teach your young children something that winds up not being true. I mean, how much of this, you guys, winds up coming back on, and again, I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but like, what part of this comes back on the parents?
It's unfortunate.
So part of that is the relationship with Dom. How did you see that? How did you see what are seen as radical ups and downs?
Oh, this is gonna like super make me cry. But one of my favorite things to do with Mackenzie and Dom was talk to them about their relationship. We spent a lot of time together doing everything. We went on vacation together. We like, where there was one, the other was there too.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I keep stopping it, but like, I literally, when I hit play, it's taking everything in my power not to stop it again, because I want to say something every 2 seconds. First of all, take notice, of all the pictures that you show that shows you all together as a family. You show us the picture of you in front of the Scooby machine, like with Scooby snacks. Like, I feel like, where is, like, read the room, lady. Like, you had to take 400 other pictures on this Disney vacation. You don't have one in front of, like, the Golden Girls? Like, do you know what I mean? I just feel like the things that she even puts out there for us to see. The other thing that just drove me crazy, and I couldn't help myself, don't ever make your favorite thing to do with your child and their spouse or their mate or whatever you want to call them. Don't ever make their relationship one of your favorite things to do with them, okay? I promise you that will never work out in your benefit. I mean, I'm sure for some people it does, but 99% of the time, it ain't working out to your benefit. The fact that you're working and that, you like to talk to them about their relationship problems at 17 years old, for me, in the same situation, and again, this is just my opinion, but in the same situation, I take my 17-year-old aside and I talk to her about, like, Ava, like, not for nothing, but, you and your girlfriend are fighting an awful lot. Like, like, I would talk to her, like, really about, you're fighting an awful lot at 17 years old. Like, are you sure this is really what you want? So, like, I wouldn't take her and her girlfriend and, like, give them marriage therapy. Right? I feel like, and this is the other thing, Natalie, from what I know, doesn't have any, and I don't mean this being snotty, because I do, like, so I don't want to make this sound wrong. When I say she's not educated in that, I mean literally in marriage and family therapy. So I'm not saying she's not educated. I'm saying that there are certain courses, there's literally an entire program and specialization in marriage and family therapy. It takes a lot of research and a lot of schooling, but I don't know that she has that degree. And I'm not saying that you need that degree to do this. What I'm saying is that if you're going to sit down and do couples therapy with them without knowing exactly what to do, you're almost setting them up for failure. Not almost, it did set them up for failure. Look where Mackenzie is right now, right? And in my opinion, she made it a point to tell us that Mackenzie was not an out of control person. So, okay, who would say that? Someone who has an out of control kid, right? And I also think that for the past 4 years, Mackenzie's been in jail. So whether it be juvie, jail, prison, she's been behind bars is what I mean. So why is this important? Because after a while, we start to remember things a little bit differently, or we'll start to remember, and this is me giving her the benefit of the doubt, but we sometimes will remember things differently in the sense that, we'll forget how bad things were, or things like that. So you could say that, maybe she doesn't remember it being so out of control. Why would that happen? Because for the first time, in my opinion, Natalie feels in control as a parent, right? Because when Mackenzie wasn't behind bars, I mean, we heard the dad say it, so allegedly, but we straight have Plunder got the body cam where Steve tells us she's going to be the death of me. He also says she's out of control. He says multiple times she smokes weed and there's nothing I can do about it. And I did the math and she was 15 years old. I have an 18-year-old and I could do something about it at 18. She has her own car. She's a legal adult. She just got a job yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever. She'll be making 50 grand a year. But I could still, there are still things that I could do. And again, I'm not talking about, because I think our first thing to think of is take your car away, all those things, which absolutely you should do in Mackenzie's case. But if you just have a kid that's doing, things here and there, and they're just the average child, whatever, it's more about giving them the tools that they need. So for example, Ava knows, Ava, if you think smoking pot is your thing or whatever, I am not judging you, but be smart. Go get your medical marijuana card. You don't ever want to put yourself in a situation where you've been studying for 8 years to F it up at the end because you didn't get yourself, stuff like that, right? So, and again, so just try to, take precaution in that way. So I would school them in that way, not necessarily now, if I ever was told or saw with my own 2 eyes anything she posted with the weed coming out of her mouth, with the she's smoking and all the things, the one video where she's sitting with her legs crisscross applesauce, we used to call it something else, but I don't think it's acceptable anymore. So now I just say a pretzel or crisscross applesauce, but you guys know what I'm talking about, with your legs crossed. So no feet on the pedals or gas. The minute I saw that, she would have gotten the car taken away for that reason. If I saw her with that in her mouth, she would not only get the car taken away, but I would feel like a failure as a parent, in the sense that, and again, failure is probably a strong word. I would feel bad, I should say, as a parent. Did I not talk to her enough that she doesn't know that anywhere she gets a job someday, or anywhere she wants to go to school someday, forget the fact that it's just illegal, you're gonna stop yourself from so many opportunities in the future because you just made such a horrible decision by not only doing that, but then posting it out there for other people to see, right? So just like the kids that put themselves in timeout back in when we're little, that's called egocentrism, right? So we're in a state of egocentrism where it's all about me thinking. So this is when we're very, very young. So what happens is we put ourselves in timeout because we know the rules, and because we think that what we think is what everybody else thinks as well. So if I know the rules and I just stole your gum and I ate your gum, and I know that there's no getting it back, and I know that if you tell me when mom comes home that I'm getting in trouble, I just skip that whole thing, and I know what I did was wrong, so therefore mom thinks what I did was wrong, even if mom doesn't even know what the hell's going on yet, right? So that's what egocentrism is. It then goes away, but it comes back in adolescence, and then we call it adolescent egocentrism. So it does go away for a period of time, and when it reemerges in adolescence, near puberty, things like that, the brain is underdeveloped, and there's different subcategories. I swore I wasn't going to do this. Anyway, just say it this way. There's adolescent egocentrism. So you need to know, as a parent, a grandparent, aunt, cousin, friend, whatever, that this is an age where we have to literally tell them what the consequences of their behaviors are. And you should be doing this from the very beginning. Like, my kids knew when we walked out the door, like, or before we, even if we were going into the trampoline park, like, these are my expectations. Like, I expect you to like, nobody fighting type thing. I expect you to stay within, the bounds of whatever your rules are. I expect that you will not leave this place. Do not leave here. Don't talk to strangers. Whatever your expectations are, you should always tell the kids that before you go in somewhere, so that it's in their head, because kids really don't always think about the future. And believe it or not, before a certain age, and again, this is going back a little bit, when you're younger again, before we have something called pre-operational thought, and this is till about 7 years old, and we can't reverse actions until then. So if you have a kid that's under 7, have them, I want you to do a little experiment with them, okay? Or anybody, if you know anybody. And this wouldn't be just under 7, it would be over 2, under 7. So between 2 and 7. I want you to get 2 equal cups of water. Put them both in the same cup. So if you can, make it like a glass so that you could see the water inside, or whatever you put in it, iced tea, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is that you have 2 equal glasses of liquid. Again, you want to put them in the same design cup so that they both are poured to the same level. You're putting them both in front of your kids, same level. I then want you to get another glass that's taller but thinner, right? And I want you in front of the child. So again, you're not telling the kid to close their eyes. There's no trickery. You ask them first. You say, do these 2 glasses have the same amount of water? Are they different? No, you say, do these 2 glasses have a different amount of water, or are they the same? And the kids will say they're the same. They'll look at it. They'll think you're tricking them. They'll be like, no, they're the same. Okay, no trick. That's right. You then, in front of their eyes, grab the one, pour it into the longer, thinner one, and all you say to them is, do these 2 have, you don't say now does, just say, do these 2 have the same, or are they different? Or however you say it the first time, just say it again the second time the same way. And the kid in pre-operations can't reverse actions, so they can't hit rewind. So when I say reverse actions, think of like the old tapes that we used to put, like the VHS tapes, and you hit rewind. Their brains can't hit rewind in pre-operations, so therefore you're thinking, like, aren't they just going to think 2 seconds behind, like, I just watched you pour it from one glass to the other, they're still the same? Nope, brains aren't developed enough. So the kid will look at those 2 glasses and say the taller one has more in it, and then ask them why, and they'll say because it's bigger. You could do the same thing with quarters. Put 5 quarters, 5 quarters. Ask them, are these 2 rows, do they have the same amount of quarters, or are they different? The kids will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the same. And then right in front of their faces, take one of the rows of quarters and space them out so that it's like it looks longer, and just say same thing. Are they the same, or are they different? And they'll say that the one that's longer has more quarters. So again, you're just asking them, does this row have more quarters? Does this row have more quarters, or do they have the same? And when you spread them out, even though they just counted both rows, they think the longer one has more quarters. Why is this important? Because I don't think we always think about brain development when we're thinking about how kids' brains work. One of the things is we can't reverse actions when we're little, but one of the things that we don't do when we're teenagers is think about all the consequences to our actions. We also have what's called personal fables. So, and we have imaginary audience. Personal fable is like, it won't happen to me. So, I hear that cops will pull you over to give you your ticket if you don't have your seatbelt on, but I don't have to wear my seatbelt. Nobody's going to catch me doing it type thing. Or like, we can race in front of the 8th district here. Like, I'm not thinking about the fact that there's a cop sitting right there that's going to come and pull us both over and give us a speeding ticket. So again, it's things that as a parent, you would be like, you didn't think that you were going to get a speeding ticket, like right in front of the cop, like, and it's like, no, they don't think that. And that's why if you have teenage kids, please, for you and for them, remind them before they go out. I always have this X thing where if you text me with an X, I will call you and do the most. I will do the most, so much so that you can hold your phone out to your friends and be like, this bitch is crazy. Like, and just hold your phone. Now, you don't even have to put me on speaker. I'll be loud enough. I'll do the most so they can hear me. I will do the whole, like, oh my God, gee, where are you? Oh my God, I need you to come home right now. Like, dad needs to come pick you up. Where are you? I'll make up a story, whatever, just to get you out of the situation. And what's the point of that? You would obviously put an X if you feel like you're in a situation where you've either said no to your friends, like, no, I don't want to do that because I think we're going to get in trouble, and they didn't listen. Or sometimes kids just don't have the, I don't want to say the balls, because it's not even that. They're just sensitive. I was a sensitive kid. I didn't always say, like, oh no, like, I would think of ways to get out of things, but it wasn't usually like, don't do that, it's bad. Do you know what I mean? It would be more. So if you have a kid that isn't the type to do that thing, instead of trying to give our kids tools that we know that they won't use, because let's say you're an outspoken person and you have no problem telling someone to, have a seat. If your kid is not that same person and they don't have that same personality, don't give them the tool to tell somebody to have a seat, right? Because if they can't do it, now they're going to feel like they didn't measure up. So she needs to take more interest in Mackenzie, and what Mackenzie likes, doesn't like, what works for her, what doesn't work for her. I feel like they try things, and we're not even try things. Things just don't work, or the police show up because Mackenzie bumps a couple in the car and they get her license plate, but she still says, and you guys, not only like this does she automatically lie to the cops, in my opinion, but she goes a step further and talks about how she's not going to do she literally says, I'm not going to do what does she say, insurance fraud. She's like, what does she say, with broke ass, in other words, she calls the people broke, pretty much, and that they're going to try to get her for hitting them, and that they just want money, and that she ain't participating in no. Meanwhile, they got her license plate number. She just bumped them, and Plunder did the detective work and was able to place her right where the couple says she was when they bumped her, and they pulled over and called the cops, because Mackenzie decided to tape TikToks and post them. You could literally see like buildings and stuff in the background. Like, Plunder literally placed her at the scene of the crime. I was like, oh my God. And I don't know if anybody knows different, let me know, but I'm almost positive she gets away with that and nothing happens. So when you keep getting away with things, and you keep getting out of things, you start to expect that. And you start to play along with that, in the sense that that if you just play it up in this one sense or the other sense, that you might get away with it. And I think, in my opinion, that's what happened with Mackenzie. When I listened to these voice messages, oh, hi, babe, my husband just showed up. I'm so excited. When I listen to these text messages, that's what I see there. Oh, thank you. Joanne, thank you, Joanne. You're the best. Joanne, they haven't added a sound yet for gems, but just in case, do for the gems. Thank you, Queen. There's that was a really bad dance for gems, but whatever. All right, let's watch some more of this, because I'll just keep talking all night.
So, they were together for 4 years. And they were together for 4 years in a real pivotal time of their age, where they were trying to figure life out and who they were. And actually, I'm going to show you a text message that I sent to Dom. We were very, very, very close. And one of my favorite things to do was help them navigate through their relationship. And they knew that they could both come to me for anything if they were struggling with stuff. Hi, I tried to call you. You don't have to call me back. I was just thinking about you guys. One of my favorite things to do is watch you guys grow and navigate through your problems together. They're not always fun, and it's not always easy, but the point is that you guys grow a little more each time and learn a little bit more about yourselves and each other. I love you guys. Anyway, that was all. And then he said, nice to think you're always thinking about us and here for us and here for me. I love you too. Thank you. And then I said,
I can't help myself, so I'm sorry. I'll make this one short, I promise. But you guys, so does she send this just to Dom, or does she send this to Dom and Mackenzie? Why do I ask that? Well, if she sent it to Dom and Mackenzie, I think it's very telling that Mackenzie doesn't write back. Mackenzie doesn't acknowledge, like, oh, Mom, you're the best. She doesn't heart it. None of the things. If she just texts Dom, like, out of nowhere, like, this looks like, it says July 1st, 2022, but it literally looks like it's not coming. It's not a screen. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because I don't know. Maybe this is how they just put it up here. But like, what did they have a lot of text messages before this? Like, this almost looks like she doesn't really text him often. And my thing is this. Let's see what she says here real quick. So she said, I tried to call you. You don't have to call me back. I was thinking about you guys, which means that she hasn't seen her daughter in a minute, right? Because why would you be thinking about you guys if they were just there? Just saying. She says, one of my favorite things to do is to watch you guys grow and navigate your problems together. Why is this such a problem? I can't wait for statement analysis to jump on this. Let's say that again. One of my favorite things to do is watch you guys grow and navigate through your problems together. So it's not one of my favorite things to do is to watch you grow into these amazing young adults that you are. It's not my favorite thing to do is to watch you guys grow together because your love is so strong. I'm so happy for, like, none of those things. She literally says to watch you guys grow and navigate through your problems. That's a problem for me. That just shows that her expectation here is problem, right? Like, why are you expecting that they're navigating? Why are they navigating through problems at 17 years old? Why is Mackenzie so impulsive and intense at this age? Why does she have that fear of abandonment? Like, where is this coming from? And then it says they're not always fun and it's not always easy, but the point is that you guys grow a little more each time and learn a little bit more about yourselves and each other. Why do I have a problem with this one? I have a problem with this one because it lets them think that with each fight they have, they get closer. And so does that mean that the only way we get closer is through fighting? And again, you don't even have to come out and say that to your kid. Their brains will pick up on that in the background. That's what I picked up on. I picked up on right here, like, oh, it's okay if we fight because every time we fight, we get closer when we come back. That's a problem. Just like having sex after a fight is a problem, that's a problem too. Let me tell you why real quick, and I promise I'll move on. If you are using sex as a means for making up, you wind up classically conditioning, which is what she's doing. Like, I don't know how often she said this to them, but she could have classically conditioned in them that, fighting was not a bad thing because it brings us closer together. When you fight and then have the best sex ever, because people say that all the time to me, they'll be like, oh, but we had the best sex after, da da da. And it's like, okay, so now what? You have to get into like a big brawl to have the best sex ever? Like, and I promise you, your brain starts to classically condition the response. And just like it can condition a phobia, which is an unrealistic fear, if it can condition a phobia, if you could be phobic, there's somebody out there that's phobic of the left side of their body. Look it up. You can make a phobia about anything. Why? Because it's a classically conditioned response. I would be afraid here that she's classically conditioning for Mackenzie and even Dom here that it's okay that we have all these problems because it's just making us closer.
Always.
Understanding relationships, and obviously they're not adults, they're kids. I mean, he's an adult technically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Did you believe at the time that the vagaries of their relationship, the drama, was within the realm of normal, or did you see it as a toxic relationship?
No, I didn't see it as a toxic relationship because we did spend so much time together every single day. He was either sleeping here, she was sleeping there. He would come over and make dinner. They made homemade pasta and steaks. So there was none of that. Like, I knew that she was going to be, like, he was going to take care of her, like, to keep her safe, and like, he was very protective of her. And then I also knew that she was protecting him. So in person, I don't think, I know it sounds toxic in the text messages, but there's no context for those. That's not who they were. And one of the things I always tell people is who Dom looks like on paper is not who he was to me. So what they look like on paper, it's not who they were.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's just not who they were. They were very close. They loved each other fiercely. They were very cute together. They took care of each other. They wore matching outfits. they timed their day around each other. They made sure that they had each other's food. He cared about her health, and he was trying to work on her. She has POTS, so he was trying to figure out her POTS and her diet and stuff. So they were very cute together. There's no context in those text messages. That was just them trying to figure out how to work through these situations that they had building up, but that's not who they were. I know it's what it looks like, but that's not who they were.
When I talk to you guys, you both bring up this relatively, for most people, obscure medical condition called POTS, which is basically a blood pressure differential, and how that can affect people. You guys talk about it like this was something that was known and ongoing in her life. That is not the way that it was argued in court, and it was not the way that the judge treated it. The judge treated it like what it seemed like from the rest of the record of the trial, which was a legal rationale for an unexplained intent crime. But that's how it came across. That's not the way you guys talk about it. You talk about it like everybody knows that she had it. We didn't just diagnose this now. Is that the case?
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why the trial went the way it did. But yes, I mean, I told all of her friends that she has POTS because they need to know what to do if she has an episode. Like, they have to know. She has had a couple episodes, and they.
So if POTS was such a pivotal thing, I guess my thing would be, why didn't Dom's mom know? And, I guess you could say that maybe Dom's mom forgot, but I don't think she would have. She knew about the gluten stuff, and which I don't even know is true, because if you guys see what she orders on commissary and eats, I'm pretty sure there's gluten. I mean, I clearly am not the nutritionist, however, just saying. So does she really have a gluten sensitivity, or was she just being, was she trying to seek attention in the sense that if you listen to the story, what Christine Russo says, she says that it would, like, if she cooked for Dom, that Dom had to make sure that what she made was gluten-free. If not, he would have to cook Mackenzie dinner because she needed to be gluten-free. I mean, imagine that.
We're very aware of it, and if you don't know what to do when somebody's having an episode from POTS, they can have a seizure. It's called a non-epileptic seizure, or they can suffer from what's called like syncope or something like that. And the reason why I tell everybody that is because, like, when you have POTS, okay, you faint. You faint from sitting to standing, okay? And you can have an episode from anywhere between when you stand up, within 15 to 20 minutes you can have an episode, okay? So when somebody faints, your natural instinct is to catch them so they don't fall, right? Well, if you do that, and I found this out the hard way, if you catch them, the blood isn't getting to their head. It's a blood pressure thing, okay? So if you catch them, you're preventing, your body stays upright, and you're not letting the blood get to the head. So then that's when they start to have that seizure, that non-epileptic syncope seizure, okay? That was really scary for me. So when she was doing that, she was like a stick, and I didn't know what was happening because this was like a newly thing that was being developed for her. So then I laid her down because I was scared. She had a friend over. It was me and her friend were here in the house. So when that happened, I laid her down flat on her side because, the only thing I know about people having seizures is that they can choke on their tongue, and I didn't want that to happen. So I laid her on her side, and by doing that, the blood was able to get back in her head, and then she finally came out of it. So I had to tell her friends, please don't catch her if she's having an episode because she needs to lay down. Like, she either needs to lay down, or if she's in the process of having an episode, make sure to put her head between her knees. The blood has to get to her head somehow. So I had to make sure to tell everybody. I told the teachers at school, I told all of her friends, new friends, old friends, everybody, because they have to know what to do to help her.
When Mackenzie has experienced episodes of POTS, when they pass, has she claimed a lack of memory of the event?
So I didn't ask her. Remember, it was just the one, and I didn't ask her if she had any recollection of anything because I didn't need to. That wasn't like a thing. So, and it also was pretty short-lived. Also, not followed by a traumatic head injury either. So I don't know if she had any recollection of that.
The next point of perspective is what.
I don't know if she had any recollection of that because I don't talk to her and ask her those questions, Chris. At least not back then.
People have seen on social media after the event and even after your daughter's incarceration. And it is an extension of this wild child.
And truth, you weren't here when I said it, but earlier I said this would be the best birthday if truth comes. You were the only one that wasn't here yet, so I'm glad you're here, my girl.
Very self-indulgent, maybe, taking girlfriends or lovers in prison. It's all about feeding a picture of her as just all about her appetites. And again, extreme. How can you help people understand differently?
I can't, because anybody can say anything they want. Like, how can you stop people from saying things?
Well, with different perspective and analysis. Like, yeah, she smoked weed, but not every day, and she still went to school, and she said this. She doesn't have girlfriends in prison. She's not fighting people in prison. She didn't stab someone in prison. That's how.
Yeah, well, that is how. So I can't speak on anything of her activity in prison. She's not doing any of those crazy things people are saying. So what she's doing is she lays in her bed a lot. She colors, she draws, she paints things for people and their children. She's like super, super talented. She listens to music, she writes music, she journals a lot. She likes to watch movies and play board games. She doesn't like drama. So she tries to avoid that, and if there is, then she's always the first one to extend the olive branch to whoever it is to move on from there, because she likes to bring people together.
Chris had to bite his lip like I just had to smack myself in the head because it was so hard to just let her finish that sentence. Did she just say, I need to rewind that time. Did she just say she doesn't like drama? Why?
Is the first one to extend the olive branch to whoever it is. You know, she doesn't like drama, so she tries to avoid that. And if there is, then she's always the first one to extend the olive branch to whoever it is to move on from there, because she likes to bring people together. So
How do you explain what is reported as an unusual amount of misconduct tickets for violating prison rules?
thank you for that. So
Sorry, this one will be quick. I watch Dr. G. Did anybody see her do this with her lips right after she said that? Don't they say that you do that when, wait, watch her lips right here. Don't they say you do that when you want to like erase whatever it is you just said? Or erase meaning that it wasn't truthful. And again, somebody correct me. I'm seeing if my memory serves me correct.
As an unusual amount of misconduct
She didn't.
tickets for violating prison rules.
thank you for that. So contraband isn't like drugs. It just means that you have something that's not on your vault list. So let's say you have, I don't know, five things with you when they go and do like their searches or something. Then that's 5 tickets, 5 separate tickets, because you have somebody, you know, she, like for instance, she had to go to work in the morning and she didn't want to miss going to work, so she used her friend's alarm clock, wasn't on her vault list, so that would be considered contraband. So that's 1. And if you have somebody's pillow or like an extra blanket, that's 2 tickets. So that's 3 right there, just in the same situation. So, and then the other one, so that's contraband. It doesn't mean drugs, it just means you have something that doesn't belong to you. It could be food, it could be literally anything. But and then if you have multiple things, each individual item is 1 thing, so that could add up. And then the other one would be like the misuse of medication. She thought, you know, she was worried about her health, so she just wanted to take it was a prenatal vitamin because she just wanted to make sure that she must have felt good and wanted to make sure she was getting enough of the nutrients, so she took somebody's prenatal vitamin. But
Were some of the tickets as reported for sexually explicit video calls with an ex-inmate?
Did she just say that she took somebody's prenatal vitamin? What? You couldn't get yourself some syndrome for women? Is she serious? This is the problem. This is the problem, Natalie. The thing is, according to the prison, if you have somebody else's prenatal vitamins, their pillow, their alarm clock, or any of the things you just mentioned, it is against prison rules. It is considered contraband. Therefore, it is not okay. And that's the thing, that this is the problem here, you guys. This is the problem here. Her stance on this should be, although in the, you know, out here and not in prison, you can share a pillow with anybody you want. In prison, you can't. And my daughter did. And she shouldn't have. And now she has tickets. You're right, Chris. I wish she didn't do those things. That's probably what she should have said. Not all these things and that. And not for nothing, I thought they all had dates on them. I don't remember multiple dates for each time.
she must have felt good and wanted to make sure she was getting enough of the nutrients, so she took somebody's prenatal vitamin. But
Were some of the tickets as reported for sexually explicit video calls with an ex-inmate?
well, that I can't speak on. You know, all I can say to that is she's in her early 20s. I don't know anything more about that. Or the only thing I can say is now that you know what the rules are, you gotta follow the rules. That's the only thing I always tell my kids, like, no matter where you go.
I'm sorry. I hate the fact that she could tell her mom and Natalie could tell her about washing her coochie, and that's literally the verbiage that they use, is about washing her coochie. So you could talk about washing her coochie, but you're too embarrassed to ask her if she had S tickets? I don't know about that.
In life, everybody has a different set of rules you have to follow. I have rules at our house. You have rules at your house. They have different rules. Like wherever you go, those are the rules you have to follow. And sometimes, unfortunately, we don't know what the rules are until we do. And then when you do, then follow them.
Something you can't
I wish Chris would have said that not knowing the rules is not a defense for breaking the law. Nancy Grace would have said that 100% in my opinion if this was her in this moment. And Chris does a great job, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like Nancy Grace would have caught her on that one. What do you guys think? For sure.
speak to directly.
And this is the one about the rules real quick. The rules are the rules. So she does, this is where she talks about how she tells her kids about the rules or whatever. Don't teach your kid that everybody has different rules and that, you know, if you don't know the rules, that's okay. Just as long as when you find them out, you follow them then. Like, you need to tell your kid what the rules are as they're growing up so that when they get to adulthood, They can, just like her dad said in the police station, but she's a dumb 18-year-old. Remember that?
Correctly, is when people hear you have explanations for innocent kinds of tickets, but you say you know nothing about the kind of ticket that would inform people about the nature of her personality, it becomes suspicious of your credibility. You understand that?
Yes. No. Well, I can't talk on the sex ticket thing. I mean, I'm sure we've all had spicy conversations with our friends and people, so I can't really speak to that. What I can speak on is that none of her tickets are aggressive or violent. You know, she's got extra stuff that doesn't belong to her, like food, pillows, blankets, alarm clocks. You can get a sex ticket, by the way, just for hugging somebody else, which is unfortunate because those girls are going through all terrible times. And you know, if you want to hug I don't know, but
is it fair? Is it fair in your opinion? That is true, especially in female prison.
Yeah.
By the way, they have very strict rules of fraternity or fraternization,
I'm sure.
Which is a weird word to use because it comes from fraternity, which has to do with males, even though it's about females. But we have a very sexist culture.
Right.
People point to, oh yeah, she loved Dom so much that she got a girlfriend as soon as she went to jail. Is that fair?
No, because what they're missing, she didn't go right to prison right after the car accident. So the car accident was July 31st. Okay, she was in the juvenile facility for almost a year after that. Okay, then county for a couple of weeks, and then went to Marysville. So there was a long time between. I mean, people, you know, we do gotta move on at some point, right? So the whole time when she was home, obviously she was going through nothing, laying in bed crying all day long, going through his photos, wearing his clothes, listening to his music, writing about him, thinking about him, talking about him, going to the grave, going to the memorial, like every day. Same thing happened in the juvenile facility. She kept a journal and wrote to him every day, and talked to his family members on the phone every day. And then even when she went to Marysville for a little while, she had his photos. Dom and Davion's photos were all over her bed area, and wrote in the journal like every day. So it's not, they're missing a time frame. Time has passed. A lot of time has passed.
Was it every day? Every day. I would love to see that. I actually would call bullshit here. As a matter of fact, one of the jail calls that I listened to today that I don't remember hearing like a lot out there is she talks about how Mackenzie can now start her book because she doesn't have to worry about Miss what's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God, one of the ladies in juvie that Mackenzie liked. Anyway, the one lady, like, she doesn't have to worry about her. It'll come to me in a second. She doesn't have to worry about her reading her stuff anymore. Like, she can write down what she wants. So then she didn't really write that much back then, let alone every day. And I thought that when it comes to the pictures, I want to know what the rules were, because when Mackenzie finally is allowed to have 5 pictures, she's allowed to have 10 pictures, I'm sorry. When she's allowed to have 10 pictures in herself, do you guys want to know who she tells her mom to get? She tells her mom to get her 5 pictures of her and Dom and 5 pictures of her. She doesn't ask for a picture of the family. She doesn't ask for a picture of her mother, her father, her sister, none of them. Not Rosie, not Faith, not Bubba, none of you guys. She didn't ask for any of your pictures. She wanted the pictures of her and Dom, and she tells her mom that this isn't juvie, that they could be more, as long as they didn't have them and stuff like that, it would be okay. Or if they were like having sex or drugs, like that stuff's not okay, but anything else is okay. Like you could wear, you know, skimpier clothes. Like I guess she could be wearing one of her bathing suit tops and jeans type thing is what she was saying, or shorts. But she wanted good ones of her and Dom, and then 5 good ones of herself.
You say your daughter is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it's almost like she's trapped in a nightmare that she has no memory of, and can't even, she's never seen the evidence, she's never seen the discovery, she's never seen anything, so she's almost trapped in a nightmare that she has. All she knows is that the boyfriend that she loved with her whole heart is gone, and Davion is gone, and she was the driver in a car accident, and has no memory of it. So it's literally, I'm going to cry again, you should see her artwork. It's so sad. And one of these days I'll share it, but I'm not going to share it now for obvious reasons, but it's really sad. She does self-portraits of herself where she has like a thorn, like a rose of thorns around her neck, or like her mouth is sewn shut, and she's got all these question marks around her head, like why? And like, where's Dom? Like, what happened? And Davion, it's like so sad.
That was the first time I really think that her eyes started to water there. And take notice, she doesn't say I'm about to cry. So take notice of that. She doesn't say I'm about to cry. And this is the first time I hear, like, and look, you can see her eyes are a little bit watery. I still don't see a tear. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she seems more emotional here without having to tell us, right? And this is the thing. She literally tells us that for obvious reasons, I'm not going to tell you about her drawings, and then goes on to describe what's in her drawing. Okay.
where she has like a thorn, like a rose of thorns around her neck, or like her mouth is sewn shut, and she's got all these question marks around her head, like why? And like, where's God? Like, what happened? And Davion, it's like so sad. She's literally trapped in this nightmare, and so she struggles. She struggles mentally with that part, and I feel bad for everybody.
Feeling bad for everybody is a real emotional turmoil for your family. The media likes to use you as a point of conflict between the families, that you don't like the other kids' families, you think that they have been unfair towards your daughter. How do you reconcile your feelings that she doesn't deserve to be where she is with feeling the way you say you do about the loss of those boys and the pain for their families?
Oh my gosh, I wish nothing more than all of us to get together and just hug each other and go through this together and heal together. But the way that the story has been written and spread like crazy wildfire, I don't know if there's ever going to be an opportunity for them to even want to, which is so unfortunate, because it's just unfortunate. I know that this appeal process, for instance, is so hard. It's going to be so hard for them to watch, because every time it's in the news, it's been constantly in the news for 4 years. And I know that when it is, it's got to be hard for them to see, because it's like picking at a scab. I always say it's like picking at a scab that's never going to heal. Like, it's never ever had a chance to heal because it's so in the limelight. So I do feel bad for them, because it's a constant reminder that their kids are gone. But I can't. I wish it was private. I wish we could fight this privately so that they don't have to see it, because my heart breaks for them. It breaks for them. But I can also hope, privately, I hope that as this information comes out, that there might be a chance that they can see it wasn't intentional, and maybe it'll make them feel a little bit better knowing their boys were loved so much, and it wasn't this crazy intentional act that that they made it seem, right? This ridiculous story that's not true.
Wow. That just made things 10 times worse, in my opinion, you guys. She literally just told us the truth by saying that secretly. She literally tells us the truth, which makes me feel like she doesn't really feel these things that she's saying before, and if she does, that it's minimized in the sense of its gravity related to what she's really feeling. Listen to what she just said.
But I can also hope, privately, I hope that as this information comes out, that there might be a chance that they can see it wasn't intentional, and maybe it'll make them feel a little bit better knowing their boys were loved so much, and it wasn't this crazy intentional act that that they made it seem, by this ridiculous story that's not true.
The idea for the prosecution's case to be beyond reasonable doubt, the judge had to believe that Mackenzie Shirilla was suicidal, because obviously, reasonably, what she did would have killed everybody. What does that mean to you, that the law found that your daughter had to be suicidal in order to do this?
I don't understand that part, because if that's what she felt, then why wouldn't they ask for a psych eval or medical analysis or something, like find out or
Well, they don't have to. You could have, but the prosecution doesn't have to do that. They're looking for facts of what was done, and
I love that he did that.
whether or not the way it was done informs them as to the intent that the crime required. Yes, they're supposed to look for inculpatory and exculpatory, but not on that level necessarily. That was what you would have done. What your team would have done is argued all the THC in her system, that maybe it was that. She doesn't remember. It's a very bad fact for your daughter in this situation, because even when you say something like there were 3 people in that car, anything could have happened. Yeah, but only one of them survived, and she's the only one that would know. And I'm sympathetic to your and your husband's point that, hey, if anybody wanted to just make up a story and get out of this, she would have done that already. So she
Listen to how good he does this, you guys. He literally, the way he words this, just listen, you'll see what I mean.
You must actually not know what happened. That's a fair point. That's a fair point of pushback. But when they look at it, anything could have happened. What do you think could have happened in that car?
Wait, can we go back just for, I want to address your one question about her not being suicidal. Okay.
Well, yes, because I'm not saying whether she is or isn't. I'm saying that in order for her to do this the way the prosecution says, she must have been ready to kill herself.
No. So there's text messages where she was that night, the night before the car accident, she's confirming going to work the next day. She was going to be taking care of somebody's pets while they went on vacation. So that night before the car accident, she was making sure, hey, do you still need me tomorrow? And she was like, yeah. She's like, okay, I just want to make sure. So she's confirming going to work the next day. So that's one thing. And then there's other messages where she was planning her birthday party, making birthday reservations. So people that are suicidal, they don't have future plans like that. So that was all in there. I don't know why.
A question is, has she tried to hurt herself since this event?
Never. She loves life and herself and loves her family way too much. Never, ever.
I know this is going
She just told us the truth again. No, never. She loves life and herself too much.
to be an annoying way for me to describe this, but I've always felt that this was one of the biggest reasons I would have wanted a jury trial. Look, I get that counsel could have been worried that there was too much propaganda out there and that everybody was going to hate her and she wasn't going to testify and it was going to be too tough, and they were better off with a jury, with a judge who could be more dispassionate and focus on the law, and that they didn't make a case for intent. I get it. However, this one question, she had to have wanted to kill herself. because reasonably what she did should have killed everybody in the car.
Right.
So she must have been suicidal. Okay. But all of the text messages that you show, everything that she had said, and very odd that someone who is suicidal and then two of her closest people are gone and she doesn't try to hurt herself after that, even with her life being ruined by what she did.
Okay, there's 100% chance that my entire stream is getting demonetized. Not that I make a lot off of live streams, not like the super chats, you get them. But as far as like ads, he literally just said that 45 times in one sentence.
Is very suspicious. And it would have been, I think, something that weighed on a jury. At least some of them would have been like, well, that's weird. It doesn't seem like she was suicidal. Well, then maybe something else happened. And that's called reasonable doubt.
That's right.
But that did not happen in this trial because of your team's choices.
I don't know why. You know, my husband and I, we weren't in there. I was a witness and he was a potential witness, so we were not allowed in there to hear what he was saying or not saying. Or
So it wasn't her fault, aka it's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's never our fault.
doing or not doing or presenting. So she only had one day for her defense, and then it was over. And then the things I found out after the trial, I don't know what happened. Something's wrong somewhere. I don't know. I don't understand a lot.
What is the plan going forward?
She had 4 years. Let me tell you something. When I started my doctorate degree, it was supposed to be in psychology, and I decided last minute to do it in education because I teach in higher education. Excuse me. I had to learn an entire body of work that I was unfamiliar with, but I did it. And it took 4 years, but I did it. She's had 4 years now. She could have, I mean, if I were in her shoes, I would be spending my every waking minute doing that, right? Is it just me? And thank you guys again for coming in on my birthday live. I appreciate you so very much. You have no idea.
I'm finding that this appellate process is being such in quicksand. During this process, I've talked to many different appellate attorneys, and they've all said, we've lost our way, our country's lost our way. Our appellate process has gone from really caring about doing what's right and more about procedural errors. So I have no choice but to be guided by hope that somebody somewhere will be able to look at this critically and see in black and white that there was no proof of intent and things that were not presented in the trial that could have proven that. I'm just guided by hope. I'm just going to keep going. And I feel bad for the families because I am going to keep going. But I hope that they would also do this for their kids too.
Twisted Crime Tales. Thank you, Twisted Crime Tales. Yeah, let me say that again. Thank you so very much. I'm loving it right now. You are so very generous. I appreciate you. You have no idea. Thank you so much, you guys. This has been such an amazing day live. I have to be honest with you, and I'm sure every creator feels this way. It's like scary to go on for your birthday live. You don't know if anybody's going to show up. Like, forget even getting like super chats and making you feel special in that way. Like, you're afraid that like people might not show up, whatever the case may be. I had people show out for me, and so many people giving me gifts tonight. I am so overwhelmed by gratitude. I promise. Wow, thank you. And just so you guys know, this is Dom's dad, and this is his sister, Christine Russo. Some people thought that this was his mother, Christine Russo. It is not. It's his sister.
And their kid would want them to do this for them too if something was wrong. If there was a true wrong, like if they were convicted incorrectly, they should be doing this for their kids too.
Are you able to put yourself in their situation where you have reason to believe that the reason your daughter is gone is because of a crazy ex-boyfriend who just didn't give a shit about anything except what he felt in the moment? And that they do have good reason to believe that at this point, based on what's been in the trial and what's been reported around it. How do you think you'd feel if that were your mindset?
I cannot blame anybody for feeling the way they do about this situation with what they've heard and saw. I myself would have never questioned this ever if we're not going through it ourselves. I would never question anything in a million years, but going through what I'm going through right now, this is it's terrifying. So I can't blame people for feeling the way they feel about it. It's just they just don't know. There's so much that they don't know that's wrong with this case. And we need help.
Hey, Colorado. Thank you so very much. Neva. Hi, Neva. And Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Hey, you guys. And you guys, look at how I just paused this. I didn't even do that on purpose. But I wonder what Dr. G would say.
Talk about the other families. Have you thought about talking to them? What would you say to them? I'm sure they're going to see this.
Oh my gosh. I have thought so many times just about walking up to the Flanagan's house and knocking on their door, but I don't know if they want me to. But I want to. And then the Russos, they were very close.
Legally guilty. Don't make me come find you and punch you. You never, ever, and obviously I mean that with love. I don't really mean that. Us Italians, the more we want to inflict violence, the more we love you. Think about when we see a cute little kid and we're like, oh, I could smash their face. It's like, you don't really want to smash their face. They're cute. So legally guilty. When I say I want to come you and punch you, I couldn't punch anybody. My point being is that you being here, and hopefully you liked the video. And if you really, really, really want to help me, if you have a Facebook or something, share my video. Believe people would be so surprised at how much little things like sharing, engaging afterwards, so maybe coming back later and writing something in the chat type thing, all of those things help other people see my videos, and that to me is so very special, and just you being here is so very special. And a wise woman, thank you for showing up. How you doing?
A lot of time together after the car accident, like a lot of time, and it's so hard for me to drive past their house and pretend like I don't know them, or like this part of my life never existed. And I know in some of my calls I say different things in regards to them, but we were hurt and struggling and scared. So I would love to go hug them and just tell them, I'm sorry for what has happened, and just be there. I would literally do everything for them. They would probably be annoyed with me because I would probably be blowing up their phone. I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Can I pick something up for you? Are you hungry? Can I make your dinner? But it's hard. I would love that.
Why would you love that? Is it out of guilt that you feel responsible for what happened?
No. I'm a mom. I'm a person. Even all these people saying terrible, untrue things about me. If they needed help, I would drop everything and go help them. That's just who I am.
Okay, so I think two things can be true. I think Chris can be right here by asking, could it be the guilt thing? And I think it could also be true that she would. I do think Natalie, if like the family called, she would stop what she was doing to go help them. But for what reasons, I'm not sure. But I think she probably would.
On the what happens next part, you said you're dealing with counsel. Your daughter has an appellate team. Do they have a strategy? Are they planning to make a federal habeas corpus appeal here? And if so, on what basis?
I don't want to say anything.
Okay, but you do have a team, and they are figuring out what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look, I mean, that's good, because if it shows, if nothing else, a depth of belief in what you put out about the case. It's an uphill. They appealed, they lost, they went to the Supreme Court, they refused to take the case. It doesn't mean it's dead, but appeal is usually for reversible procedural errors, because you don't usually do it on the basis of facts on the appeal unless new facts have come out. So it's a high bar, but you know this from talking to counsel. When people see this, well, go ahead. Do you have a comment on what I just said?
I do. I'm learning. I have no idea about the legal world, the criminal world. I don't want anything to do with any. This is like terrifying and scary for me. Like, we've never had any trouble with the law. I don't know these terms. That's why we're leaning on our lawyers so heavily. But there's something. There's just preponderance of. Am I saying that wrong? I don't know.
Preponderance, which is a legal standard, less than reasonable doubt, more than probable cause. Preponderance of the evidence. It's usually a civil standard. But in what context do you use it?
I don't know. I heard that term from somewhere, and I thought that there's not enough. There's too much reasonable doubt. There's not enough proof of intent. I don't know.
Well, look, I mean, again, a fact question is rarely reviewed by the appellate judge unless there's new information. Especially when the trier of fact here, the judge, is also the jury, which is also making the ruling in the bench trial. They're given a lot of sway. So, look, it's difficult, but there is a review standard that you're talking about right now, and that certainly seems to be the most likely avenue. Let me ask you, if that doesn't work, how do you prepare yourself for what this is in terms of being the mother to Mackenzie Shirilla, how long she'll be in there, what that'll be like, what it means for your life? How much thought do you give to that?
So Mackenzie and I would talk about it all the time. She knows that with even what happened to her mother families when she's alive, which she struggled with. She had survivor's guilt pretty hard. Like, why am I healing so fast? Why can I walk? Why is this happening? Why can I do this? She was struggling with that.
She looks like she's struggling. Boss lady, what's up, boss lady? Thank you so much. That was so very generous of you. You guys are so good to me. I feel so effing blessed. I feel like I could just scream the F word, and that just is like, that's like my crazy. You guys, doesn't she look like she's got survivor's guilt over here? It looks like survivor's guilt to me. Thank you, boss lady. Thank you.
But she knows she's blessed. She knows she's blessed and has a lot to be thankful for. She was alive, and she knows that she's going to be. We're going to get through this. We will get through this. We've gotten through every bad day to this point, and we'll get through every bad day until it's over. Like I keep telling her, I said, Kenzie, there's a sentence. Everything's going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it just means it's not the end, but it's going to be okay, and we're going to get through this. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
How hard is it for you to believe that?
brilliant.
My family is very close. We're very close and very, very strong and very connected. And none of us will ever leave anybody behind. We're going to make sure that we're okay. So we will be okay. We'll be okay. We'll make sure that we're okay.
The effort or lack of effort that has been done so far, trying to refresh recollection, trying to see if...
Oh my God, do you guys want to laugh real quick? It just took me that entire time to figure out that HBD was happy birthday. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, holla. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't think holla. But I'm thinking in my head, like, hell, huh, what's going on? I'm like, oh wait, happy birthday. Oh my God, guys, straight A stupid. Sharpest knife in the sky. If you've been here a long time, that's funny.
with time and different types of treatment, there can be recall of the events of that night. Have you done anything to pursue that avenue of treatment?
I don't know if I can. So before she was arrested, she wanted to go get hypnotized to try to remember what happened. So when you're in a car accident like that and you have a real traumatic head injury, especially if it was that fast, sometimes your brain doesn't process the memory into like a core memory type situation. Sometimes there's literally nothing there. So she wanted to go and get hypnotized before she was arrested, and now she still does. She still talks about it all the time. I don't know. I don't even know if they can. And
Who's they?
Anybody that's imprisoned. I don't know if they can.
Oh, you mean you don't know someone? Of course you can. Because you can do it. A lot of hypnotists work remotely. It would be a Zoom call like this.
My only concern is...
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much for the jewels. Wow, you guys are so good to me. I'm so appreciative. That is so very generous of you. And you guys, let me ask you a question in chat. Do you guys think that Natalie would ever let... I mean, now that Colorado, I think it was Colorado, told us that she was offered like an evaluation and they turned it down. So she ain't doing no hypnotist. Natalie would have to be in the room, in my opinion. So that would... Oh my God, Deb. Hey, Deb. Thank you, Deb. She got 15 to life. Thank you, Deb. Wow. Thank you, you guys. Wow. What an amazing birthday you guys have made this. I swear to God. Thank you so much. I just feel so special. Cuff you. Oh my gosh. I got a flow state. Woohoo. Thank you, Cuff you. Oh my God, you guys. I can't take it.
And I don't care, because I know she didn't do it on purpose. I would want to be there for her, because when she has a memory of that happening to Dom and Davion, she's gonna struggle. She's gonna struggle with that, and I won't be able to be there to hold her hand or like hold her. So I would need to know that she was in a safe place to scream, or like we were just talking. We just found out new information that I thought that she was found with her head under the dashboard, but I thought that she was found under the dashboard on the driver's side. So we just learned, because remember, I'm learning. I haven't seen a lot either, so I'm kind of learning new things as other people are too. We recently learned that she was found under the dashboard on the driver's side. When she heard that, she was like, oh my God, I was laying down for 45 minutes and just started crying.
Legally guilty. Who's Dr. Verna? What the hell is happening right now? What's happening?
So, she wants to be hypnotized, but I need somebody to be there. So she's
33 and able to still have children, okay, and have a family, which I think is an important point. Like True said, whether they were able to prove intent or not, she probably did, right? Get the right amount of time here. So the thing is, I also, from what I hear, is if you have even one what do they call it, like a report against you, that you can very much so that could push you back 5 years. So I think we all have to remember that even if she gets an additional 5 years, so if she doesn't get out for 20 years, she's still young enough to have a life. Oh my gosh, Harlot, thank you so much for the jewels. Wow, you guys, thank you.
safe to scream, feel when she finds out anything. So it's like scary for me, because she wants to be.
Well, I mean, I understand your concern for what she would realize, but you do realize that it's the only thing that can really
Did everybody see that?
change the fact basis of what is understood right now, and it is one of the most compelling points of prejudice against her, that there is a convenience to this amnesia, that the one thing that you need to know, you don't know. And I understand the counter. I understand it, and it's compelling, which is why wouldn't she make up a story? Why wouldn't she say Dom did it, or Davion did it, or we all did it, or this is what happened, or I had an episode? She would say something because it would only help her, and she didn't.
That's right.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But it does seem to be the only other thing that could happen here that could change the outcome. No.
I hope, yeah. Like, even if it doesn't change the outcome, she still wants to do it to try to get some kind of closure in the situation. She will never, ever, ever lie and say that Dom or Davion did it. She would never do that to them. Mackenzie is painfully honest. If anybody knows Mackenzie, she's painfully honest. She would
What if
never
it's not a lie? What if the kids were messed up and they were screwing around?
Painfully honest.
No.
Listen to her words. She's painfully honest. Painfully. Of all the words you could use, like, just tell us she's honest. Like, and is she painfully honest? You know, how many times have we caught her in lies? Because Plunder seems to find her in a bunch of them often.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, she wouldn't make something up now is what I'm saying. Because she just would never lie and make something up and say that they did it because she doesn't remember. So
she's like, I got to make sure I put that out there so that if I put that out there, and she's like, you know, the wheels are turning in her head. She's like, wait a minute, it's legal in my state. So all we have to do is hire a hypnotist and tell Mackenzie to fake get hypnotized and remember that Dom or Davion grabbed the wheel. So let me just put it out there now, Chris, that there would be no reason for her to lie going forward. Did anybody else get that from that? Like, in other words, like, why are you saying that? Why do you need to tell us that going forward she wouldn't lie?
even if, let me ask you this: is the hypnotizing thing even accepted in the court system?
It wouldn't be the hypnosis; it would be the testimony.
Oh.
If she were to say, "Hey, I remember what happened," and there'd have to be an explanation that would be compelling enough to be considered by prosecutors / a judge, if not them, because obviously if they felt compelling, then they could bring it up. But that's very rare because they don't want to undo a conviction. That a judge would have to find it compelling enough to warrant a new trial.
Yeah. Well, even if it doesn't, even if it hasn't been in the legal system, she has always, all this time, wants to get hypnotized. That's been a common thing. Even after, directly after the car accident, she was talking about being hypnotized. So even if it has no legal bearing, she's always wanted to do that just for closure, to find out what happened.
I'll check your state right now to make sure I'm right.
Okay.
But I know I am.
I'm dying to know what she's thinking right now. He just said, but I know I am.
Not as a point of arrogance. It's just, it's fairly, first of all, Ohio certainly recognizes a hypnotically refreshed testimony. But again, that's because it's only about the credibility, which is tested the same way any testimony would be. How it is that you refresh recollection is really besides the point. I'm
just curious because...
So yeah, she could. She can get it. But look, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that is a huge aspect of this. Why you didn't argue diminished capacity when there was THC in the system, you knew that the sample was screwed up. Some people blame your husband for that. I haven't found any basis for that. But I'm saying I haven't found any basis for it. I just am monitoring these true crime podcasts. That's a common avenue of discussion. Look, we all know the phone has positives and negatives like we've never seen before, especially right now. You can take the, not in any case in chief significant way by your counsel. Two, you pick a bench trial in a situation where if you wanted there to be reasonable doubt, you were really betting on a hung jury. And you took that off the table, which only makes sense if you really believed that the data, which certainly your husband does. But I got to tell you, he and I disagree on this. And obviously the judge sided with my perspective on it, which is 4 seconds is a long time. It's not to you and me in terms of this conversation, which I'm sure is seeming interminable to you. But in its speed, when you're going 50 miles an hour, let alone twice that, 4 seconds, you go a long way, right? It's simple math. So the data is damning. The data only tells one story. It doesn't tell why, but it tells what was happening in that car and the lack of countermeasures, which fed a narrative. And the judge clearly believed it. So the only reason to go bench trial would be believing, as counsel, that the data...
Thank you, Joanne. That was so very generous of you. What a great birthday. I am so... Wow. Boss Lady says, I'm so curious. These phone calls, we've heard her from 3 years ago around her trial. Do they still have these dozens of... What? Do they still have these dozens of lovely... Oh, love you so much today. So I don't know exactly if I understand the question, but thank you, Oh Look a Squirrel. Thank you for being here for my birthday. It really meant a lot. So thank you so much. And I appreciate all your hard work for me and being a mod and stuff. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And Boss Lady, so... The phone calls, I think the phone calls, so I don't think that in prison, I don't know why. Does anybody know why we can't FOIA prison calls? Why can we only FOIA the jail calls? Is it a state thing? Is it a federal thing? I don't know if anybody knows the answer to that. But I would like to know the answer to that. However, we do have almost 100 phone calls of her talking with her mom, her friends, things like that. And I've listened to all of them, but I then went back and wait, not only did I listen to them all, I transcribed them all, and I started to transcribe all the gibberish. I'm almost done. But I learned a lot about their behavior. I think it was YouTube Bad Actors that brought up a very good point about the Behavior Bureau and how they remind us that everybody has a baseline, and that doing a behavior such as rolling of the lips, that, and I'm glad I just remembered this because I wanted to say this earlier too after I read that, but made a very good point that that could just mean, like, that could be their baseline. So it's when we have a baseline that we deviate from, that we show you know, behavior that deviates from our norm. So I really don't know that rolling her lips is different than her norm. Yes, they do. Oh, I hear what you're saying, Boss Lady. So Boss Lady saying, do we still think that they're saying, I love you, Mom, I love you, Mackenzie, I love you, Mom, love you, Mom, love you, Mom. I know exactly what you're talking about. They do that. It is interesting to see if they still do that. I would love to be a fly on the wall and hear what they talk about nowadays.
The science, the information is so specious that the case of the prosecution is so weak on the data, so easy to disrupt it, that the judge would have
legally guilty. It says we're only allowed to have calls that were brought in as evidence, but that's not really, not that it's not true, but there were 100 phone calls here that we got. I think they were all of her jail calls. I think it's because in the calls, it's before she goes to court, it's during court, it's after her conviction, then after sentencing, and for a couple times after, like a couple days, weeks, I don't know what it was, before they moved her to prison, we have all those calls. Now, I do think it's interesting that we don't have any of the video calls, because they talk about video chats the entire time on the phone calls. Like, they always bring up the video chats and the text messaging. I know that we got Stephen Stern's text messages, so I'm not really sure why we don't have Mackenzie's text messages. And I don't know the video chats, what the law is with that. I don't know if anybody else knows. But you guys, there's a few other calls that I haven't really heard much on other channels. I don't know why. I'm sure I'm just not hearing them. I'm sure they're out there. But there's a few phone calls that I'm going to, I hope everybody sees them. Like, I put out the gibberish phone calls. I'll take the gibberish out of the phone call and transcribe it, and then I put it in. It takes me forever, but I put it in, I edit it, and then I slow it down to 0.75, and then I let you hear it again with the captions up there that I put in there for you, and you can like hear what it is that I've translated. But it's so funny because if you hear it without the words, it's so, like, the very first time I listened to any of them, I'm like, what the fuck did she just say? But then after I listen to it a few times, my ADHD brain locks in, and I'm like, oh, no, she didn't.
to see it in a way that the jury may not, because emotionally they want to punish. That's why you would go with a bench trial, and that's why very often judges convict at a lower rate than juries, because they're not supposed to be motivated by simple vengeance. That's not really justice. So those decisions, and then the third, Mackenzie had nothing to say in her own defense. Not that she had to, but in a case like this where people want to...
I get it. Legally guilty says, yeah, unfortunately, once she's convicted and goes to prison, they don't take any more of those calls because they're not evidence. I see what you're saying. And there is times, you guys, in the calls where the mom will say to her, like, oh, they referenced, like, a call of us talking last night. And then another one, she's like, there was a call of you talking with daddy and da-da-da-da. So I see what you're saying. Anything that they talked about during the trial and even up to sentencing was all considered evidence. Thank you for that.
know why did it happen, and you're the only one that could know.
Yeah.
When you don't testify, that becomes an assumption that can easily work against you, and clearly did here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a couple things. The THC thing, I found that interesting too. And in the discovery, the detective and one of the police. That was the other thing. I didn't even hear these police interviews until 6 months after she was convicted. Crime Circus posted all these police body cam videos that we had never seen before. And there's a lot of information in there that puts a lot of answers to questions people have. And then you can hear how screwed up things that were said in the trial are, because where were these police interviews? I never saw these before. Did my lawyer seem like, I don't know. There's a lot of information in here. So in the police interviews, he says, the detective says, we could have charged her with an OVI, but we wanted to go with a higher felony or thing like that.
They want the highest value crime.
Well, how can you do that? If somebody's over the limit, they're over the limit.
If you believe that the diminished capacity, which is what we call that, THC, alcohol, doesn't matter what the substance is if it intoxicates, but that intent was more than that. You know, for instance, if I say, I'll make it very simple. If I say, that's it, Natalie, I'm mad at you, I'm going to eat your sandwich. And it turns out that I was really drunk when I said it, but all of my actions show that I had every intent to eat that sandwich. Then it becomes something that within the law, you can argue, okay, yeah, they were drunk, but this happens anyway.
Well, if you would have eaten my sandwich if you weren't drunk?
That's what you would argue. That if you weren't drunk, you wouldn't have wanted the sandwich. But you didn't argue that. Your lawyer did not argue that. You see what I'm saying? That's my point.
Why?
That's something for you to ask him. He does not. He's not returned any of my messages. I'm happy to talk to him about it. I'm happy to talk to her friends who want us to understand that night or that relationship or that person differently. I'm here for it because again, the point of telling the untold story in these is to disrupt narrative, to help people understand the texture and the complexity of these stories.
Ooh, did you hear him? The point of this is to disrupt narratives. That's interesting. So, she looks really pissed that she got this lawyer. I'm wondering, does anybody think that, well, obviously she probably regrets getting that lawyer, but we know that that lawyer that she paid for the lawyer, that he wasn't a public defender. So we talked earlier, Chris asked her, does she feel that way out of guilt? So I'm like, thinking about it, like, that's like a double guilt now, right? Because now it's like the person you got to defend her didn't even really help. But I would argue there, if I'm going to put a psychology hat on, is that the parents should have been the first protection, and they missed the boat a lot of times. I will say, though, the dad, in my opinion, tried to seek help more than the mom was willing to, just from like what we see, like when he calls the 911 operator and talks about how he's at his wit's end, da 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 da. So I do think that we do see that. So that is interesting. But True says, wait, hold on. Oh yeah. At you was 16. So the person that shot Truth was 16, just shy of 17. He attempted to, and 5 others in a home invasion robbery. See? So I think that's terrible. It's terrible. The kids that killed my best friend Mike or whatever, all 4 of them had a record like R and stuff like that. Like, why were they on the street? So it's horrible, truth.
Especially when there's such a big question mark. I don't believe we know why this happened. We know who did it. We know the general circumstances. We know there's criminal responsibility. But why is very important. And we do not know.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like with this trial, like why didn't Jim cross-examine me? He didn't ask me any questions. I thought that was weird, because the prosecution only asked me about her first situation with Potts, and then that was it. And Jim never asked me any other questions. I felt like that was very strange. Don't you think that that's strange? Wouldn't he? Why didn't he?
Well, you were a prosecution witness, so he would have been cross-examining his client's mother, which is unusual. Usually, you would be his witness. But be that as it may, he was certainly free to ask you questions. And again, he's got to tell you that was his decision. So, you know, you have under the 6th Amendment, you have a confrontation clause, and you have a right to confront your accusers, and you have a right to trial by jury. And here, you exercise neither of those. And I don't say you.
I know, you mean you in general.
I'm saying the team. So look, Natalie, unless there's something else that you wanted to ask me or that you wanted to make sure came up, I want to thank you for taking this opportunity.
I thank you too. I did write some things. There's can we talk about Carney for a second? Carney talk.
Sure.
Is that okay? Do we have a second? So there's tons and tons. Let's
talk about it.
Tons of misinformation going on right now about this whole Carney talk thing. What she said in the hospital. Okay. So during the documentary, the prosecutor said, play the tape, and I can send you the video too if you want. And he said she said something like, "Can we just tell him I had a seizure?" That is not what she says. And there's a lot of people that speak it and can verify it. She says, "Can I tell him something about community service, and can you take my license away for 10 years?" Okay.
Where can I find that clip? Because I want to hear it. Because I definitely 100%, in my opinion, feel like I can speak it well enough. Not speak it, but I understand it well enough. If anybody watches any of the videos I put out or the shorts that I've put out the past like week or so, I think I get it. So if somebody knows where I can find that, let me know, because I want to hear, because now I want to know.
She does not say the word seizure at all. The word seizure is very hard to say. It's full of a lot of Z's. It's seizure. Seizure is how you say the word seizure. I think people are confusing the word seizure with the word service, because she says community service. So
What? I must not have watched this all the way to the end, because I would have remembered that part. Did she just say that they didn't say, can we just tell them we had a seizure? What she did say was, can we just tell them I want community service? What?
is our visas is service. Seizure is seizure. That's community service. All the word seizure is very hard to say. It's full of a lot of Z's. It's seizure. Is how you say the word seizure. I think people are confusing the word seizure with the word service, because she says community service. So Caesar visas is service. Seizure is seizure.
Well, what language is that?
It's Carney talk. It's Carney talk. It's I've always known it. My family. It's just a fun, silly little language that we used to talk to, like our friends. Like if me and my friend were walking down the street and somebody was cute, and we didn't want them to hear us say he was cute, we'd say he's really cute. Like he's really cute. So it's just a fun little, silly little language. But when the detective came in and it's not sneaky. Like there's nothing sneaky. That would be like saying people that are bilingual and speak Spanish or French or German are being sneaky when they're speaking their different language. There's nothing sneaky about it.
No, it's a little weird, but I don't know that it's sneaky. And I'll put that under the same category as your husband's ringtone. Sorry. What is that?
That guy, that was hilarious, first of all. So that's from Adventure Time, and my kids, we used to watch that cartoon all the time, and they love that. So that was one of his ringtones from them. That's a good cartoon. But anyway, it's just a fun, silly little language that wrestlers use. It's Cardi talk. I don't know. It's just something silly, but that's all.
And why is it relevant? Because you think that people misunderstood what your daughter was asking for?
Well, yeah. Well, that was reckless.
You guys, I just wrote down seizures, and then I wrote down service. And I know how to speak this now, and I know how to put this together. Oh, thank you, Alexa. Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you. Seizure and service. Let me just teach this real quick. So, oh my God, she looks demonic the way that I did not mean to pause her like that. But anyway, seizure and service, right? They both have two syllables. So seizure. And how did she say service? I have to hear how she said service again real quick. Hold on.
It's Cardi talk. First of all, so that's from Adventure Time.
No, it's a little weird, but
language that my license went for 10 years. Okay, she does not say the word seizure at all. The word seizure is very hard to say. It's full of a lot of Z's. It's seizure is how you say the word seizure. I think people are confusing the word seizure with the word service, because she says community service. So Caesar visas is service. Seizure is seizure.
Well, what language is that?
It's
Seizure vivus. Hold on, seizure vivus. I have to write that down. Seizure vivus. Now you want to know what's interesting. Natalie, I'm an educator and I'm good at this shit, Natalie. So this is the thing. She said seizure visas or whatever for service. So seizure visas, and then she says for seizure that it's seizure. So I wrote it down. If you write down the word, let me just tell you how you do this first of all. So let's just use the word, well, let's do service. Ready? So service, you want to put EZZ, okay, EZZ before every vowel, but you only want to do it like per syllable. So like, let's say there was like an EI together, you wouldn't do it before the E and then before the I, like if it was, you know, together and it was like all part of the same syllable. So you're putting it before each one of the vowels, and you just then read it out. So for example, service, you would do the S, and then you would do EZZ, the, and where the I comes up, it would be VEZZ, and then CEZZE. So that would be, I know that sounds crazy. That would be Caesar V's C's. Caesar V C's. How did she say it? She said seizure V Levas. Huh. Wait, she said seizure visas, and guess what, you guys? For service, I get Caesar V's. I get the Caesar VEZZ. I get that part, and then it's CEZZ. So how would I say that? Caesar V C's. It would be Caesar V C's, not seizure vivas. So service, you guys, would be seizure V C's, and then seizure, she says, would be CZZer, but it would be, let's see if I got this. So it would be the SEZZ, and then again, if there's like two vowels next to each other and they're part of like the same syllable, it's before that one. And then, so then you would, not skip two, but the S would be, the U would be the next part that you would put the EZZ. So it would be CZZer, not CZZer. I think she put too many things there. I want to hear this tape. I need a link. That would, she said seizure like Z-E-E-zure. Yeah, she did. So T on seizure. Okay, I'm so glad you wrote seizure there, Alexa. So if everybody looks at the way, we have, and then Alexa also wrote service right above that. So let's just look at seizure the way you have it here, right? It would be S-E-Z-Z, right? And then you would put the E-I-Z, and then E-Z-Z-U-R-E-Z-Z-E. What would that be? Would that be C-Z-Z-zure? I wonder. And then service, if you look at the way you wrote service here, right? Not the way you wrote it, but I'm just saying, if anybody looks, if you look at it, you would, this is how you would do it. You would do, for service, it would be S-E-Z-Z, E-R-V-E-Z-Z, I-C-E-Z-Z-E. So that would be it. I wonder. I need to hear the link so that I know. I think she's trying to muddle it up. I do too. I want to hear it again because I've heard it before, but I never knew that she was going to eventually say that. And not for nothing, that would mean that we would have to hear the word community too. And community is a hard word to fake. So if she says the word community service, I 100% think I'd hear it. So I'm dying to know. I'm going to have to find it.
It's carny talk. It's carny talk. It's I've always known it. My family.
Oh, it's on the body cam. I have it.
It's just a fun, silly little language that that we used to talk to, like our friends. Like if me and my friend were walking down the street, and he was cute, and we don't want them to hear us say he was cute. We say he's really cute. Like he's really cute. So it's just a fun little, silly little language. But when the detective came in to, and it's not sneaky. Like there's nothing sneaky. That would be like saying people that are bilingual and speak Spanish or French or German are being sneaky when they're speaking in different languages. There's nothing sneaky about it.
No, it's a little weird, but I don't know that it's sneaky. And I'll put that under the same category as your husband's ringtone. Sorry. What is that?
That guy, that was hilarious, first of all. So that's from Adventure Time. And my kids, we used to watch that cartoon all the time, and they loved that. So that was one of his ringtones from that's a good cartoon. But anyway, it's just a fun, silly little language that wrestlers use. It's cardi talk. I don't know, it's just something silly, but that's a lot of fun.
And why is it relevant? Because you think that people misunderstood what your daughter was asking for?
Well, yeah, I don't well, that was reckless.
I found it.
On the prosecutor's part, because during the documentary, he says he or she's saying something in gibberish. Okay, and then she says something like, "We just tell me I have a seizure." Well, if it's gibberish, why are you saying that she said, "Can I just have a seizure?" If you don't understand what she's saying, so that he was almost like planting a seed. Like, why are you doing that? That was weird to me. So he left that, and then of course the public just took off and ran with it. It's not what she
Right,
said.
but even if it were an excuse structure legally, a seizure is a reasonable potential physical consequence of POTS. So
100%.
it wouldn't be taken as a connivance, which is, hey, let's make up a story, which is what he was arguing. But again, this is all the game of how a case is tried and which facts are emphasized and de-emphasized and contextualized, and that's very hard to review. Those choices are hard to review, except to say ineffective counsel, which you did in the first appeal.
Yeah, very sad. It's just very sad because that's not what you said. And people are just taking the misinterpretation of just running with it. Even like the text messages from the freeway that day on the car, went down and tried to crash the car. Now those text messages some people are trying to recreate the timeline for those and make it seem like she's the one that did it and she's recreating these text messages to cover her tracks. Like, no, nope. So it's like a nightmare game of telephone.
I think that, and I said this to your husband, focus on what you control.
Yeah.
How your daughter is perceived, you don't control. What people decide to make relevant, true or untrue, you do not control. What you control is the opportunities you take and what you do with your daughter's case and any choices she needs your help with going forwards. And if there is anything that needs to come out going forward, you know how to get me, and I will give you the opportunity.
I thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for taking the opportunity.
Okay, so that was the interview with Chris Cuomo and Natalie Shirilla. Thank you guys so much for listening to all that with me. So I thought that I just found it, Alexa, but then I pulled it up and it wasn't the right one. But I have it. I'm so glad that you said the body cams, because now on the body cams, there's body cams of 7:31, 8:1, and 8:2. Let's see what 8:1 is. It's all by itself. Let's see if it's my lucky day. I'll just try this one more. If not, I'll find it and then I'll put like a short out or something of it. Because I do want to know. Like, that needs to be the next one. Oh my god, I'm getting seasick. Why is my bed shaking? No, that's... They go out and talk to Dom's dad. That's what that one was. And let's see, we'll do one from 8-2 and see what was happening on 8-2. Because the one from 7:31... No, this one's Dom's dad too. So these last ones are Dom's dad. Let's see the last one on 7:31. That'll be the last one I really check, I promise. Let's see, you guys. Thank you so much for being here on my birthday. No, this is from...
Yeah, throw it all in there.
Oh no, the one that I happened to open up, just look real quick. We're not watching it because I'm not crazy right now, but they literally are going through her stuff. Look. Where's it at?
Being relevant. Why?
So this is the body cam of them. That's the trunk. Her trunk.
Alright. I have two phones. I got two. Holy shit, I got a phone.
Oh. There's two phones in her bag?
Two phones. One's dead. Is there anything else over here?
Did we know that
Let's
there was
really go through it.
Oh wow, look at the car. Wow. Oh my god, you guys. I don't think I have ever seen this seat like that. I'm gonna have to look at that later because it doesn't look like anything's blurred. And I don't want to accidentally show something that I shouldn't. I don't think I realized that they were all like the uncut footage. It looked like daytime in the video, but it was bright hospital lights. Wait, did you find it? It's on a video. I think it's a body cam. If it's a body cam, then I have it. It's definitely... Oh, thank you for decoding the Carney Talk. That's what we'll do. We'll do one Carney Talk video before we hang up. Just because it took me so long to do it. Alright. Oh, and you know what else I'm doing? I'm gonna donate $5 mind behind true crime, or whatever it's called. I said donate, you know what I mean.
Mind behind true crime.
How about I pause myself? Okay, here we go. Let's do it, you guys. All right, we'll listen to a... Who was that? Thank you, a wise woman. A wise woman, I hope you get one. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to listen to one Carney talk, and then oh no, let me donate now. Let me just donate. Here we go. This will be my birthday gift to you guys. Thank you so much. Here we go. Let's see who it is. And the winners are... We have Mama Mo. Oh God, I'm gonna say this wrong.
Thank you.
Fitted Dib, I don't know how to say that. Then we have Rotten Ralph, Linda, and Stacy Richards. Welcome, you guys. Welcome.
Thank you.
There you go. Yay, welcome. Harlot, thank you so much. Oh my God, you guys, thank you so much. But yes, welcome to all the members, our new members.
Thank you.
It's going to say thank you 2 more times. It says thank you 5 times. I don't know why it feels the need to like spread them out or do 5 of them. So for every membership,
Thank you.
If somebody gifted 10 memberships, it would do 10 of them. It's ridiculous. But it should be done now. Hold on. And then here, let me play a Carney talk, and then we'll... Oh, you know which one I'll play for you guys? I'll play the one
Thank
that's
you.
not out yet. I have one coming out at midnight, and I'll play that for all of you who are here right now. Let's see. There you go. So you guys are about to see and never before seen. I'm just joking. That was recording. Oh, thank you. What just happened? Let me see. Harlot, thank you. Thank you, Queen. And you guys, if you're not subscribed, please do so. Okay? Please subscribe and like. That would be the best. The best. Alright, let me see. Which one isn't listed yet? Here we go. Let me go to my content. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This isn't even, it's scheduled for tonight. So let's do it. We'll do this one right here. Hold on, let me just pull it up, and then I have to call. Hold on. Oh, I got it. Hold on. I have to share this screen with you. That was so cool. It looked like the birthday hat was on me. That was awesome. Alright, let me share this. I don't have a mouse pad, and it's like craziness. Alright, here we go. Share screen. Not that one. Oh, here we go. I got it.
You do that. You need to do that. Okay. She's really That's okay.
Are you guys able to hear this? Are you able to hear this before I... Let me know if you're able to hear it. I'll put it back on. But let me know. And let me know if you guys think it's crazy talk, because I can't believe I can actually hear what they're saying.
You do that. You need to see that here.
Okay.
She's really willing to get it down. That's
okay. The room.
Oh, my room? If she, I'll ask if she let me make another phone call. I'll ask.
Tell them that your mom freaks out and doesn't let you do that.
Also, yeah. You need to talk to them too, and you need to.
He's calling me right now.
Jim is calling you right now.
Yeah.
Either Caesar, is it? Either we don't see you to Caesar Minario.
Oh, I love you, baby.
She needs sleep by you do that. Immediately that Caesar either.
Okay.
She's really easy without either.
That's okay.
She's like he doesn't need to be that. He's on those keys there. We like
Teddy, tell me about your room.
Oh, my room? I'll ask if she let me make another phone call. I'll ask. Oh, yeah.
Tell him that your mom freaks out and doesn't let you do that. Oh.
Also, yeah. You need to talk to Jim, too, and you need to...
He's calling me right now.
Jim is calling you right now?
Yeah.
Either Caesar, is it? Either we don't see that you do Caesar Minario.
Oh, I love you, baby.
I'm going to show the other one. Hold on. Let me show you the other one. If people are ready to go, I get it. I'll show the people that want to hear. Let's see. Oh, in this next one, is this, wait, what's the one we just heard? Okay, we heard that one. Alright, in this one, I forget. Let me just show you and we'll find out. Not that I forget, but there's so many. And it literally, like, you want to hit yourself in the head by the end of the night. Alright, where is it at? Here we go.
Uh-oh. Wait, in the psych ward? Okay, okay. Honey, I can't make it. You're an adult. I can't do it. I'll try. I did. I tried. Okay. All right.
Can you guys hear it once you read it?
Uh-oh. Wait, in the psych ward? Okay, okay. Honey, I can't make it. You're an adult. I can't do it. I'll try. I did. I tried. Okay. All right.
So I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it's so much easier when you're reading it with the words to hear it. If you're reading it without the words, it sounds like literally, like I literally have to read it 1,000 times to hear it, but I get it. And then once I do it, what I'll do is, let me just be honest, I will translate it by listening to context clues, and then I will hear something in there, and then I go back and I'm like, okay, what are other things that you could say that are like related? And that's how I get it. This is the very last one I'll do, because that way I'll go and start my birthday. But here we go.
Yeah, that's okay. Just do one. Do what you gotta do. It must be because you had access to mental health from juvie and the papers got transferred over.
They're using this sort of intake pod, I think, but you need to keep
Eventually you will be. Yeah.
The text should line up to the audio. If that happens, sometimes after we're done, don't do it now because I'm afraid if you go out, you're not going to come back in. But as soon as we're done, go back and, like, if you go out of it and then go back in, like YouTube or whatever, and put it on, it should line up. Mine's lining up for me. At least I hope it does.
What do you say?
So can you call me again later?
Alright, after I get off this phone with you, I'm gonna do commentary. He's on Caesar, he's like Caesar, he's a Caesar. He's a Caesar. He's a please, I believe him, Caesar.
Okay, just keep to yourself. Don't be, you know how to do it.
Well, I'm about to do it myself then, cause hell no.
Oh good, I'm glad that worked.
Just tell everybody I have no money. I only have money for... Yeah, that's okay. Just do one. Do what you gotta do. It must be because you had access to mental health from juvie and the papers got transferred over.
They're using this sort of intake pod, I think, but you need to keep calling.
Eventually you will be. Yeah.
Jesus,
How many steps is there?
He's on Skeeter, he's a Caesar. He's on Pizza waiting, Rita, Rita. He's on Pizza losing Pizza meeting. What do you say?
So call me again later?
He's on Pizza. Pizza waiting, we're not getting it, Pizza meeting, we're like, we're getting it, Pizza, back and see. Alright, after I get off this phone with you, I'm gonna do commentary. He's on Caesar, we're like, Caesar is a Caesar. He's on Caesar.
She said Ezo Mizo Gizon. But you guys, I like listen to it sometimes without the words just to see, like, and I'm like, I'm definitely crazy because she talked really fast. But anyway, I think I understand it. Resume is room. Yes, Alexa, you're getting it. Skis air to scared. We have to write, you know what we should do? Oh, thank you, boss lady. That makes me feel good. I can lock in like a motherfucker. You have no idea. Like, that's one thing about me. It's my ADHD, but oh, I could lock in. So if I want to like do this, I will finish it. And like I said, if you look at my book, I have all the calls. I bought myself a thumb drive. You guys, this thumb drive is the bomb. It has, not that I'm like not doing a sponsorship or anything, but it's got like all these different ways. Like, look, I'm gonna pull this out, and I didn't do it the right way, and I'm gonna regret that. But look, you could put it in your iPhone. If you go like this, meanwhile, yous are gonna be like, they've had these forever. You can put it in the USB, or look at this, how fancy. If you put it this way, it goes in your iPhone or your iPad or iPhone, and if you do it this way, it's an Android. But I was like, how nifty is this thing? But anyway, it has all of my Mackenzie Shirilla stuff on it, and it has all of the calls and everything on it. But with that being said, the reason I showed you that is because I've been taking it around, and you can like plug it into your phone, your whatever, so I can listen to them literally wherever I'm at. But look at these pages and pages of notes. I'm literally a crazy person. Ooh, a bunch just dropped at once. Oh, and here goes the list. And the ones that don't have anything are the ones that I still have to do. So that's it. That's all 99 of them. I've listened to them all, I just haven't. You have one of these? That's funny. I'd never even seen one before. I was like, oh my god. Meanwhile, I've been teaching for 100 years. You think I would have known what that? I knew what a thumb drive was, obviously, but I never seen a fancy one like that. At least it's fancy for me. But anyway, you guys, my husband drove all the way here to spend time with me for my birthday. So, and my daughters. So I'm going to go because everybody's here. I plan on having an amazing birthday. Thank you all. Wow, you guys showed up for me tonight. Like, I can't even tell you. A special thanks to Sirius Black for being a member for 8 months. Sirius Black for your special super sticker. Just Call Me Heidi for your very generous super sticker. Then Just Call Me Heidi for another generous super sticker. Cuff You, Coca-Cola. Harlot for being a member for 11 months. Coca-Cola for being a member for 11 months for your super chat as well. Cuff You for your super chat. Twisted Crime Tales, thank you for your super chat. Boss Lady, thank you for your super chat. And then our 5 Minds Behind True Crimes memberships. Harlot, thank you for your jewels. And thank you to all the other people with jewels. It shows you the jewels for like 5 minutes or so, and then they go away on the funding thing. So, but I did say thank you as we went along. But thank you guys so very. I'm seeing if any of them just jump out at me real quick. But Harlot, there's a bunch of them. A Wise Woman, all of you guys. You got. I'll go back and look. Oh wait, they're right here. Look at that. I was able to get to them. So wait, we have Joanne, Harlot, Cuff You, A Wise Woman. Thank you. Deb, Neva, Kelly. So they have them at the top. I just have to get to them a different way. Yeah, so you could just say we had community service. I just saw that all the way back. Thank you. Happiest birthday to me. Casey, you missed my birthday? No, I'm joking, Casey. Casey girl, you are there every day. So you're allowed to fall asleep. And you could just do, for all of you that are texting me or writing me like messages that you wish you could do more, I promise you the fact that you showed the fuck up for me is more than anything money can buy. For those of you that do have it, that do help, that is so very appreciated. You have no idea. But for those of you that are on it that can't right now or just can't, please, again, by liking, subscribing, Deb, thank you, Deb, thank you so much. But by liking and subscribing and stuff like that, that is very much a help. And I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube gave us all 1,000 jewels. I think they only did it once or whatever, because I think I'm down to like 250. I was like, oh damn, I should have spent them more sparingly. But just so you guys know that, so that when you are on your favorite creators, and you could do it if you scroll down, there's ones where like, so you could do more of them, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm just so appreciative. Let me just say that. Thank you so much. Sharing, liking, subscribing, all that means everything to me. Oh, wise woman, thank you for my jewels. You guys are so nice. Wow. Thank you guys. I really am appreciative. And I already am having a fabulous birthday. And it all started with you guys tonight. So I appreciate you all so very much, and definitely a thank you to my mods, because I would be nothing without you. And for Discord, thank you for that. Cuff you, Harlot, Truth, all of you all over there. Even Casey, that I'm mad at her, she missed my birthday. No, I'm just joking, Casey, I swear to God. I know that you'll go back and rewatch this so that I at least get a like. And let me tell you something, you guys. Casey uses all 3 of her hypes on me almost every week, I think, if not every week. So that's another way you can support me. You guys all get hypes. Use a hype on me. That, believe it or not, every time you hype, go to the video afterwards and write some comments. Hit that the emojis button, like, and hit the hearts or the likes or whatever you want. All of that helps get me in the algorithm, and by getting me in the algorithm, I get in front of other people that might be able to support the channel in a different ways, you know, or companies, like stuff like that. So there are plenty of ways to support the channel without giving money. And even me, just being here for me, you guys are amazing, and I love you, and thank you, and I can't wait to see you again. So not tomorrow, but who knows, maybe Sunday. We'll see what happens, if not Monday, but I'll see you soon, next couple days, you know what I mean. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming to such an important live for me tonight. I will never forget it. And Casey, I still love you, because I see you in Discord all the time, so I feel like I didn't even miss anything. Just rewatch, that's all.